you know, what you know, down it, what you know, what you know, what you know about rolling down in the ocean. She say that I'm cool, I'm like, yeah, that's true. I believe in G-O-D, don't believe in T-H-O-T. She keep playing me dumb, I'm a player for fun. Y'all don't really know my mental, let me give you the picture like stencil. Falling out in a drought, no flow rain was I'm pouring down. See that pain was all around, see my mode was kinda lounge. Didn't know which way to turn, flow was cool but I still felt burned. Energy up, you gon' feel my surge, I'ma kill everything like this purge. What you know about rolling down in the 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 down in the. What you know about rolling down in the. What you know about. That shit is slow motion, yeah. I feel like an astronaut in the ocean, 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 ocean. What you know about rolling? Slow motion, yeah. I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. Let's just get this straight for a second. I'ma work, even if I don't get paid for progression. I'ma get it. Everything that I do is electric. I'ma keep it in motion, keep it moving like an elephant. Put this shit in a frame, better know I don't blame everything that I say. Man, I see you G-flame. Let me elevate this in a break. Have you walking on a plane? La 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 la. Hold hands together, God, let me pray. I can go right around, go that relay. Pass the baton, back in the mall, swimming in the pool, can't do them all. When a piece of this, a piece of mine, my piece of sign. Can you please in between the lines? My rhymes inclined to break your spine. They say that I'm so fine, you could never match my grind. Please do not waste my time. What you know about rolling down in the down? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, when that shit is slow motion. What you know about rolling down in the. Rolling down in the. What you know about rolling down in the.
That's one small step for man.
Good evening, one and all, ladies, gentlemen, and gentle thems. We are back once again on the stream, bringing you AOE's AOEL Season 14, Stage 2, Week 4. My name is Sdogga. I'm here alongside the ever-amazing Harry B. 2000, or as you see on the Twitter link, the Harry C. 3000, because you just had to make it hard, didn't you?
Yes, of course.
What's going on, dude? How you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm going absolutely fantastic tonight. A little bit of the flu, but I'm sure some great Overwatch is going to cure that right here. Two amazing games coming up for you tonight. And I mean, let's just get started right away. Going into our first team, I think Sdogga, Divide Overflow.
Let's blast in. Yeah. Divide Overflow are a team that they reckon were founded around June the 9th is what they've written. So I'm going to roll with it. June the 9th, 2019. I don't know if that's their expected meeting date or the date that they ended. I'm going to leave that in their court since they wrote it all weird. We have a stellar roster starting off with Rainbow on the main tank, Casper on off tank. We've got OW Player 1 on the hit scan tonight. We have Miniman2312, someone I've known a little while, on the flex DPS spot, looking at Hanzo and Farah for those two. And of course, so far, we're looking at a brawl. Mojo Jojo on main support. They picked Mercy, and we have Deluxe Wedges, or just Wedges for short, flowing through on flex support. And they have selected the wonderfully short Ana tonight, who I reckon is probably like 4'5" in a good day.
Yeah, that is really small Ana.
Believe it or not, tiny. These are their real sizes, as far as I know.
That's incredible. Yeah, no, I kind of agree where you were going with the brawl, but it's a very slow brawl composition. They're really relying on a ton of poke, and Rainbow is really going to be putting his shield to the test. Over on the other side, though, we do have a little bit of more information coming from this. So this is a roster that has been around for most of the year. Maka was the most recent to join them. They used to be Overblocks. Only a few of them were on that roster. It's a journey for their team. Let's just go with that. It is a massive journey. We've got a lot of info on here. We're going to start off with Disco coming in to sub on the main tank role. Reinhardt being the favorite. Quad on the off tank. Diva is the favorite. Airfish and Juicebox taking over the DPS lineup. Hitscan, Hanzo actually being the favorite hero, and Juicebox with Doomfist as well. Maka on the main support, and Harley, Duck Harley on the flex support going towards that Ana. So again, a more brawly composition coming out, and this is a more faster pace composition going in with that Doomfist Sdogga.
If they roll out on this should be an early win for Mental Asylum between these two teams. But of course, there's plenty room for these teams to change what they want to roll out on compared to what they've picked here as they go into the first map. And the first map will be Busan tonight. It's what you've seen as the first map throughout. We always play the first map as control, and we do not have a score, if you're seeing that on the board right here. It is first map still to be played, so do not stress about that. But we do roll out on the Busan that you see in the background there, and then beyond we roll into a choice between a couple of different maps. Now, a reminder that we do not play Assault anymore. So we are going to get started on our hybrid, and then roll through escort, or hybrid. When we get to that, we pick between the one of the two that weren't picked initially, and we have a fifth map on Ilios. And I definitely didn't roll through all of those because I suddenly couldn't remember the first map, and that just ruined the entirety of what I was going to say. Definitely not. You will see those maps play out those shortly. And I believe, speaking of playing out, these teams are ready to get started. So, Harry, without further ado, I see no other reason than to drop that fat R in chat and let's get into the game, right?
Yeah, most definitely. Something I did want to pick up on with that map pool is that the map pool for this stage is so diverse in terms of what compositions can come out on it. So it's going to really come down to who is cleaner and who is more flexible. If you can swap over compositions in a much cleaner fashion, then you should have the advantage coming into this stage. Starting out on Busan, though, it is Mecha Base, our first map, and this is definitely more of a brawly composition map, something you've seen from both teams.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so far, just based on what we're seeing, these early picks should lean somewhat towards what we were talking about before with Mental Asylum taking that early pick. That Symmetra is going to be hugely beneficial to break in. But again, I've got to point you over to May here and Sombra. They are extremely strong for these close range fights. Blocking someone off and then quickly hacking that target is almost just a guaranteed win. So let's see what these two teams do as we open up the gates here, Harry, and prepare to get started. Man, I'm pumped. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do.
Yeah, so am I. The only issue I have at the moment with the side of Divide Overflow is they don't really have a lot of damage in the neutral fight. They do have some great ultimates, though, already, though, starting to get up. That thanks to the TP, they get a bit early position there. Mental Asylum, they start going onto Rainbow straight away. Speed boost, freezing them up. It's going to be an immortality field coming out, but Rainbow charged out of it. Disco taking down the opposing Reinhardt, and now they're going to start moving forward. All of that space is lost, but a pretty clean disengage there from Divide Overflow. Or as I say that, OW player gets cut off. It was almost a clean disengage from Mental Asylum coming out there.
Yeah, it looked really close, but yeah, that first flip really was in the favor of Mental Asylum, and we see that they're actually taking early point presence here and then quickly pushing up to the corner, up to the high ground where they can gatekeep their opponent the entirety of this time.
Yeah, well, again, an early May wall came out from the side of OW player there, but it doesn't really matter. Dulox Wedges uses the immortality field, it gets taken down, but so does the Charlies. Now it's going to be an amplification matrix, but a great wall means that they can disengage and go around the other side. Now an amplification matrix on the other side. Divide Overflow starting to push in a little bit. Hack onto Airfish doesn't really do a lot, but the sim wall is available. Casper takes down Juicebox, so the mate is down for the side of Mental Asylum. The damage has come through, and Casper is just beaming down people left, right, and center on this area. High charge going forward now until the point. Rainbow low gets the immortality field. The immortality field does go down, but a fire strike takes down Airfish. Rainbow falls, but it looks like this fight is going in favor of Divide Overflow as they walk onto point, towards point. They should eventually flip it to Charlie's immortality field being taken down, but it's going to be a blizzard invested from OW player. That's really good of the other side of Mental Asylum. That's an ultimate that you really want to force out, as well as the Graviton Surge. That is a massive mistake coming out from the side of Divide Overflow. Despite them winning the fight, a lot of percentage has been ticked up for the side of Mental Asylum.
Oh, we did see actually a pick there for Miniman getting taken out by Airfish 420, which was really decent to just ensure that the side of Divide Overflow didn't have a full team of 6 to take this choke, but what a divisive win. Now check out top right-hand corner of your screen, everyone. We can see 6 ultimate abilities online for this team. So this is Mental Asylum's to win, assuming those ultimates do something. And
great rotation.
Early rotation right there, Harry.
Yeah, it was a great rotation. It's a big shadow on the self-destruct right there. Immortality field blocks out any of that damage. It's going to be beats from both sides. Now to the EMP. Huge EMP actually catches on to 4, but the symbol still comes out. Airfish unaffected by that ultimate right there, but he's caught out on the left side. Deluxe Wedge just takes him down, and Mojojo takes down to Charlie. Rainbow finds Juicebox, and it is going to be another fight win for Divide Overflow. Despite not having the neutral damage, they've used their ultimates very, very well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was 4 ultimates committed to that fight for Mental Asylum, and no cap presence whatsoever. So amazing work for Divide Overflow holding this. Now, they're going to have to be careful and make sure that Rainbow doesn't get taken out of this fight, Harry.
Yeah, it was a great defensive Maywall to actually keep Rainbow alive for a while, but it's going to be the Blizzard and the Earthshatter layered on top of each other. Got a counterplay Blizzard from OW player and a Shatter from Rainbow. It means that this fight is still going. Airfish has found 2 in the back though, and the Immortality Field has been used. Casper finds Juicebox though, and now they're trying to walk onto Quad. Great boop off the high ground though from the side of Crubble, but Crubble has also fallen as well. Now it's backing up onto point. Divide Overflow. They have a lot of positioning and they'll have the respawns coming back. OW player still a little bit away, but Miniman gets taken down by Juicebox on the Doomfist. Surprise Doomfist out of nowhere for Miniman. Now they're moving on to point. This is going to be an intense fight here as we see both Amplification Matrix being used. Juicebox engages from the backline using a punch from the Doomfist, but the Immortality Field has been forced out from both sides. Deluxe Wedges falls first. Rainbow with a charge finds Airfish. Graviton Surge has been invested, takes down Juicebox. Mojojo has found 2. Self-destruct coming in now from the side of Mental Asylum. It's going to be overtime with burning down. Hack of the Quad, who can get back into mech if they stay alive. The Mini Diva back into mech now. Casper is still there. Mojojo invested the sound barrier, so everyone's alive still. Disco tried to use the sound barrier, but falls. Overtime, mech is burning down. Someone needs to touch the point. It's going to be the Charlie getting up the point. High Noon now being used. The Charlie staying alive in that Immortality Field. High Noon has been popped. Didn't really find anything, and Mojojo takes down the Immortality Field. Stun into Mojojo, doesn't find anything, but Quad goes and finds Rainbow. It just, despite the 5-man EMP, Miniman doesn't really find the value, but as I say that, OW player, Mojojo find a Charlie and Crubble. Quad falls as well. Deluxe is there on the Moira. Disco takes down Mojojo on the Wrecking Ball. Airfish, finds OW player. Airfish goes down to Casper though. It's just going to be Disco trying to stall out as much time as possible. Any time off that point could mean the end of this round, and it is going to be Disco forced off the point. Great defense from Divide Overflow.
Yeah, really well defended. Divide Overflow taking the early advantage throughout this game. They had multiple fights as they went through there, just where they could have lost the point to Mental Asylum, and they didn't each time. That fight early before, just where we were talking about 4 ultimates being used for the side of Mental Asylum, perfectly countered by Divide Overflow, was just the cake for me, I think, in this situation, where that proved that despite those ultimates, Divide Overflow know exactly how to defend this point. And I am really excited to see what point 2 or map 2 of Busan brings us, because this changes everything up. This high ground, this mobility should make a huge difference. And as we see, Dive being now played by both teams. So this, Harry, is definitely not all over.
Yeah, and this is a really good rotation from Divide Overflow. They hacked the Mega Health pack, and they have a little bit of cover now from the Echo. OW player moved over towards the Cassidy right there, and Airfish is on the trace, so that's a main difference. But Charlie goes down immediately, and Crubble gets taken down by OW player. Immediately, the Cassidy paying dividends for the side of Divide Overflow. Mojojo takes down Juicebox, and this is just a clean fight win for the side of Divide Overflow. And they build up their ults very, very quickly.
Yeah, and this is exactly what you need. When running into any map like this, where you can quickly lose point, the sooner you get it, the quicker you can flip it, the longer you can hold it, the better. Oh, of course, that makes complete sense. But with a dive here, they could find themselves quickly rotating to point to find 6 people on it. So holding this and defending this is fantastic. And look, I wanted to point out Miniman right there, trying to do as much damage in the backline as he could before getting out of that fight. Really well played. Now they're going to engage into this one, Harry.
Yeah, I don't really like how the side of Mental Asylum are playing this. They're playing more of a pokey style, so they need to try and keep their supports back, but they can't get through. OW play takes down Airfish, who was just on the point trying to contest it, and now it's a High Noon coming out from the Cassidy of the side of Divide Overflow. Quad just flies into it. Defense Matrix runs out, and Quad goes down, and this is a brutal stagger on the baby Diva. Oh, no.
Talk about taking one for the team. Quad running all the way to the back there, and then getting taken out by that little just of the flashbang right in their face. Oh, that really was taking one for the team, though, jumping in and committing both Defense Matrix and their entire body and health pool just into that ability to counter it.
Yeah, well, here comes the dive early, but it's going to be an EMP in the backline on both supports, so they can't actually use any of the support ultimates. As I say that, though, Rainbow found Crubble, and Juicebox goes down to Casper. Rainbow does find the Charlie as well, but it's going to be the point flipping over in the side of Mental Asylum. So now they're going to be building up that percentage. They can try and feed onto point a little bit if they want to. Yeah, there's Quad DMX and stack it out again. Point flip comes over, 64% to 9%. It's not looking good right now for the side of Mental Asylum. They need to find some sign of life here, Sdogga. It seems we've lost Sdogga for a second, but we have the nano boost on the side of Mental Asylum right now, so they're probably going to nano monkey in gauge here, but Airfish taken down straight away. It's going to be a sound barrier from Majojo, and it's going to be a nano boost onto Disco, but Quad gets demeched. It's going to be Juicebox copying the Cassidy now onto point, building up that high noon very quickly, using it, but gets taken down by Rainbow using the Primal Rage. It's going to be Disco using the Primal Rage on the side of Mental Asylum as well, but 94% has already been built up. This needs to be a one fight for the side of Mental Asylum. They do have numbers there at the moment, but this bomb could clear the way. Majojo takes down Disco, and it's going to be the self-destruct taking down Juicebox as well. Casper, great placement of the bomb. Deluxe Red just finds Airfish, who has just found absolutely no value on this Tracer. It's going to be a rally on the point. OW player going off the map.
Oh, no.
A DC coming in. But
this
looks winnable for the side of Divide Overflow.
Yeah, that sucks. They're so close to taking this. And we lose one to a DC, as far as I can tell by chat at least. Maybe it's a ping issue. Hopefully they don't get taken out of this game, because losing that position and that percentage would just suck. Either way, though, I am back and I'm good to go. And now I can see exactly what we were looking at. And, Divide, they're so close to holding onto this one. They just need to use maybe one more ability or find one more pick. And I am staring straight down the line at Quad, who is half health and hacked right here. They have a Brigitte using ultimate directly behind them in that rally heal, but is it going to be enough to survive through, or is that going to be the difference maker? Harry, I think that losing one extra play here is it for Mental Asylum's touch, and Divide take this 2-0.
Yeah, well, at the moment, it is Quad on the D.Va who was hacked, but, I mean, that hack ended instantly, and this is great protection coming out from the side of Crobble, but they still need to touch the point. No one's on there. Crobble gets there immediately, but gets hacked up to Charlie and Crobble. They're trying to keep themselves alive. Great nade coming in there. It's going to be an anti on both tanks. Rainbow falling very, very low. The Charlie takes down Rainbow, but Charlie goes down to Majojo. Now it's the emergency Doomfist swap from Juicebox right there. Takes down Majojo. Crobble did go down, but Disco on the board means they can stall this out, and hopefully they can get their supports back. But with the Coalescence, it looks like they're going to shut down this round very quickly. Disco falls. It's just going to be Airfish on the Tracer. It will be Quad coming back on the D.Va, getting D-Mech taken down immediately. That is map one going to the side of Divide Overflow.
That's it, GG's. Divide Overflow, very divisive decisive is what I was thinking of, although they very much were divisive when they took apart the attack, the offense of Mental Asylum. No, very decisive taking both of these points. It really didn't look like Mental Asylum had much of a chance at all on Busan. They just, each game they came into here was just getting pushed back like this. Fantastic play of the game. One and you're done. Just use it and get out and let the team do that.
Exactly how a Sombra should be.
I love that. Yeah, just coming back and having a tickle at someone. It's like when you get a kill by like a bomb and you emote as D.Va and you just watch it flying in there and and all of the kills in the kill feed and you're just sitting there like, that was great.
Yeah, I did that. Me. You're 100% correct. That is exactly what it was like. And so I want to talk about the difference in compositions, because Divide Overflow seemed to understand the tempo that they wanted to play a lot more. Obviously, they were playing a lot of closer range heroes. Obviously, Cassidy more kind of mid-range, but does well in the close range as well, thanks to the flashbang and Fan the Hammer combo doing just so much damage. But they were playing so quickly, and it seemed like Mental Asylum couldn't adapt in time to counter that tempo. What do you think they need to do going forward?
I'm not sure, just from the little that we saw here, exactly what to give as advice to Mental Asylum, but I think what they do need to do is try to pick an advantage over Divide Overflow. If I go back one more time to that fight that we saw where they had 6 ultimates online and Divide Overflow still defended while they used 4 of them, I think their biggest issue was when they came into that fight, they had a great strategy for initiating, but they didn't know what Divide Overflow wanted to do. They weren't sure that they were going to come in with Shatter or that they were going to window or whether or not they had used the Immortality Lamp. And I think the key difference here is they need to go into this game and find an advantage or make one. Run a Sombra, maybe, and look for a hack onto someone that has an ultimate like Reinhardt. Or jump in the backline with more of a dive offense or maybe something like Double Bubble and try and stop Divide Overflow from holding that defense so decisively. Because even then what we saw was that 4 ultimates didn't do anything because Divide Overflow simply countered. So I think if they go into this next game with a little extra strategy and they look to try and say pick a key target, someone that keeps shutting them down, or someone who's always on the defense, maybe a Reinhardt, and try and counter that person. They might find a better opportunity. It might work if they try and make it a 5v6 every time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's go over to the map choice, because obviously this was Blizzard World. The composition that they played is pretty good on the attack here, because they can sit back. The supports can sit back a lot more. They are playing against what seems to be this double shield Torbjorn composition here, so Airfish might struggle a little bit. But now they have a little bit more time to set up where their positioning and really go for more proxy dives rather than just trying to withstand and engage every time.
Yeah. No, I fully agree, and I think that's going to be the goal here to go forwards, especially looking down at what the defensive side, Divide Overflow, are going to roll out on here. This super defensive, double shield, bunker down type of composition is going to need specific people picked off. If you run into this phase first, you're going to get stomped on each and every time. So let's see what they do. Mental Asylum rolling through the gate to begin with. Divide Overflow on defense. We see a lot of damage being done by OW player 001. So let's see what they do.
Yeah, well, Miniman's already built up 22% of their ultimate straight away. They had to use the bubble, sorry, just to get involved. But this is fine, because the Charlie can just charge up this nano boost, and the nano boost charges up quite quickly if your tanks are just taking damage from the double shield. Eventually, they will be able to engage as they take over onto the high ground. They're looking for their opportunity to get into the back, and with both supports on the high ground, it might be an easy engage. Right here, they're trying to, again, they're just playing slow, farming up this nano, but now they go in. They're trying to get forward straight away, but Quad immediately taken down. And Mortality Field has been forced out, but Majojo stays alive. Some great healing coming out from the side of Deluxe Wedges. It's going to be a sleep dart into Deluxe, and Quad in the Baby Diva form takes down OW player, and suddenly, Mental Asylum have the high ground. Crubble and Juicebox do go down eventually, and Quad will eventually get taken down, trying to get back into that mech. Airfish, the last person standing, taken down by Majojo. That is one fight down, but the Charlie has built up, basically built up that nano boost, and there's not really anything to counter it on the side of Mental Asylum. Yeah, on the side of Divide Overflow, sorry.
Mojo Jojo there landed a mental Asylum headshot, onto Juicebox in the backline. That I just felt did a huge amount of work to just deny that extra damage in the back. They had the right idea. Look at this. This is really unfortunate as Mental try to roll in. Losing players this early is such a stagger easy way to get your game over early. No, they've got the right idea. Jumping in the backline, trying to initiate these fights. The problem is Divide Overflow just keep rotating back around and solidifying their defense. Like, OW player is not going to stay there once he gets jumped on, and yet that's the plan. That's what they're going to try and do. And they knock him off the high ground immediately.
Yeah, well, they've knocked him off the high ground, but Disco just gets pulled and immediately killed. They're taking way too long for this, and as a result, Majojo and Deluxe both have their ultimates. The Nano Monkey is now no longer just a guaranteed kill onto one of the supports. It's no longer a win condition for you, because, I mean, they have a counter ultimate. This is really bizarre play coming out from the side of Mental Asylum. They need to speed it up.
Yeah, absolutely. They are doing a strange rotation here with Airfish right in the background. I don't hate it, but I don't think Mental Asylum have the time to waste on this, if I'm completely honest with you. They're running a dive. They need to be thrashing these guys. There goes that...
Well, there's the nano boost, but he doesn't make it to the high ground. He doesn't make it to the high ground, and OW player with a pull and a Dragon Strike finds two. Majojo does go down, but I mean, they didn't feel the need to invest the Transcendence. Deluxe goes down as well, but they still have the tanks there. That's the ultimate play for the side of Divide Overflow. Right now, Airfish does take down OW player, so it really is just the tanks and the Torbjorn left standing right now, as we see Juicebox trying to get out. Solo gets taken down. That's really bad for the side of Divide Overflow, but Quad finds Miniman as the Baby Diva. They're back in this fight. Mental Asylum. Transcendence coming out from the side of Majojo, and it's going to be a Graviton Flux as well as the Amplification Matrix. But Disco, using the Primal Rage, finds Deluxe Wedges, takes down the Immortality Field, but Majojo finds Disco through that. Majojo finds the Charlie as well. There's Zenyatta putting in so much work. It's going to be a self-destruct on the point, but blocked out by the side of Divide Overflow. They're starting to push back into this. Airfish takes down Majojo. This has all started with him and Quad. Quad is still there. Quad takes down both tanks. This has been a great re-engage from the side of Divide Overflow, but they still might not be able to win this with the turret and Miniman still on the point. Air Hero takes down the turret. It's going to be a recontest now from the side of the OW player, who swapped over to the Tracer. Crubble takes down OW player. Finally, they'll get the point in the last 10 seconds, but what a valiant defense effort from Divide Overflow.
Quad, the unsung hero of this game, of all of Blizzard World, just winning these fights on repeat outside of mech too with that pistol. Just going to show that an off tank is more than just an additional tank in your team, and Quad is doing some work staying alive in the backline. I think Quad remeched multiple times in just that one fight. Now they're back in mech here, so initial early poke here switches over. OW player 01 needs to try and switch off to well, they are on Tracer right now. They're going to try and get some damage in the background and rebuild up an ultimate, try and help their team control this, but I think maybe, Harry, the power is back over to Mental Asylum now. Now it's time for them to show what's what.
Yeah, currently it is. It's going to be the Immortality Field forced out very, very early. Good rock onto the Tracer of Airfish there, and it was a really early dive that really just forced out that ultimate there. Now it's going to be Crubble falling, though, to OW player who found themselves in the backline, and it's going to be the Bongo dropped around the corner with the shield just protecting it, and now Rainbow walks forward. Disco takes down Miniman and the turret, but Charlie going down means that this fight realistically should be over. Juicebox trying to get some value in the backline on the Doomfist, but falls eventually. The Doomfist Tracer into the Torbjorn is a really interesting choice from Divide Overflow, and I think that eventually they will move off of it, but maybe after these ultimates.
Yeah, I think that's a necessity here for Mental Asylum, but look at Divide Overflow and their defense time and time again. I've really got to point out just how strong they're able to play this, and I'm imagining that their calls in voice chat right now must be really strong, with OW player or Casper finding a target, doing some damage every time and calling it. And as I say, damage, Harry, look at this fight rolling out with Casper using that ultimate bomb, getting put in by Quad, and now Disco dropping that ultimate in too.
Two, Airfish found both Casper and Majojo despite the Graviton Flux. There, Quad finds Miniman, Juicebox finds Deluxe Wedges with a punch, and just like that, Divide Overflow. Looked like a bit of a sloppy engage. It was a good whip shot from Majojo, but Airfish coming in clutch and finding both kills with a great pulse bomb as well means that they still have the chance to capture second point here.
Yeah, they do, and they need to. They need to do it now because there are 20, well, not even 16 seconds
Juicebox is in
on the clock as of the moment.
Huge nade coming out. Juicebox has used the Meteor Strike and Casper falls. Now it's going to be the Immortality Field used in the background. The Charlie finds Miniman. Casper's down already. They lose all their point presence. No one's there. They cap second point and they use the Amplification Matrix. That is a terrible fight to lose for Divide Overflow, especially after using a support ultimate like that.
Talk about dropping it on death's doorstep there, Harry. That was last minute, and now a minute 20 is all Mental Asylum have to get this to point 3. But maybe they can keep this momentum, Harry. They are taking picks all the way up towards point 3 right now. Casper's just rolling his way back in, but there are 2 players down for the side of Divide Overflow. Mental Asylum have to keep control of this, and they have to roll forwards with this. They have to keep finding these picks, and that should win them point 3.
Really, really early rally coming out, and we see Juicebox swapping over towards the Hanzo as well. Now it's going to be the Nano Boost onto the Winston, but a rally pop by Banjojo, and with the Immortality Field means that it's not really going to find anything. Primal Rage, though, this is great cycling of the ultimate. It's going to be a self-destruct, doesn't find anything, but with everything used on the side of Divide Overflow, they seem to be in the losing position for this fight. It's going to be the Bongo being used and the Graviton Flux being used as well. It takes down Crubble and Quad. Great use of that ultimate, and now it's going to be Divide Overflow holding despite what looked like a really clean and good engage from the side of Mental Asylum.
It's gotta suck when you're the red team in this situation, looking at these fights, going into these fights, doing the best you can, and seeing the only things that you knock off in the kill feed being the deployable abilities like Turret and Immortality Lamp. That's gotta hurt, but it's not over yet, Harry.
It is not. We see the swap over to Reinhardt. That's really interesting. They're just going to have to try and push in with the shield, but it's going to be a Dragon Strike, stopping the advance as well as the Amplification Matrix. Oh, that is just death for the side of Disco, the Charlie and Quad. They all 4 Mini-Mans with the turret in the back line, finds Quad as well, and Airfish. OW player finds Crubble, Casper, Juicebox, and that is just a team wipe from the side of Divide Overflow. Really good usage of the ultimate, so they hold on third point. But if you're Mental Asylum, you take that considering what your first point attack was looking like.
Yeah, I think so. Getting it almost all the way to point 3 is almost the same as getting it to point 3. If you can't make it all the way, then you'll take it as far as you can. And considering this game had moments where it looks like it was going to be over both on point 1 and point 2, I think this is pretty good. Now, they need to have a stronger defense than ever before, and that might require them to change some things up, I think, Harry. Maybe what they do here is they look at the team currently with the higher score than them. maybe they mirror it. Maybe they take a lesson out of their book and they try and do the same thing. It certainly looks like they're doing it. So, Mental Asylum, maybe this is the key.
Yeah, maybe this is the key for Mental Asylum. They've actually swapped. Yeah, they've done the full swap over to the double shield, and I mean, I'm interested.
And double sniper too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested in this. I think this is going to be a really good crossfire to set up, and honestly, Blizzard World, pretty good map for that. You have a lot of high ground access. On the side of Divide Overflow, though, we see the Brawl composition coming out with the Reaper and the Hanzo. I mean, for them, it's just speed boosting onto them as fast as they can, but with the high ground there, it's all up to Casper to mitigate the damage as they enter.
Yeah, exactly. Casper's got a lot of work on their hands, but Defense Matrix also makes this a really easy push if you can coordinate well with your team. And God, Harry, if ever I saw a team that could coordinate well with attack and defense, I think it's got to be Divide Overflow.
Yeah, they've shown a lot of cohesion so far this game. And look at that, what a good rotation straight away. And they have the Hanzo on the off angle as well. OW player putting damage into quad and building up towards that Dragon Strike immediately. That'll displace the double shield very quickly. Holt not really finding anything, neither does the Rock. But the Dynamite goes thrown in, again, doesn't really find anything. We have the duel of Overwatch player and Juicebox, but Juicebox gets taken down. This is such good play from Divide Overflow. Overflow so clean. The Charlie gets taken down, and without the main support, this is almost unwinnable for the side of Mental Asylum. Crubble falls to OW player. Miniman is on a tear on the Reaper. What a clean fight coming out from the side of Divide Overflow. Mental Asylum, they need to hold almost a Stalingrad-esque hold for point 2 here.
Let's not get too political. No, it's not. It's not. It's hardly political. But that is a good point because that defense has to be solid. And I really want to rotate around to have a quick look at the way that OW player played into the Hanzo for Juicebox. Each of them were looking at each other for a moment there, and OW player did a little jump up on the top to see where he was, and then quickly jumped to the side and found that Hanzo with a quick arrow. And that kind of opened up the avenue right there for Divide Overflow to take this fight, and that's what you've got to be careful of for Mental Asylum. You need to be careful of who's looking at the sides of your team and looking for an advantage. And speaking of a
what a good dragon. What a good dragon. Now they should be able to get onto them, and it's going to be Crubble falling. OW player finds Disco. Deluxe takes down Juicebox. This is so clean from the side of Divide Overflow. This is something you would see from Div 2, Div 1 teams. They are putting on a clinic on how to play this Brawl composition against the double shield. They take the high ground with ease, and they could almost full cap second point with just one fight.
Yeah, Harry, I feel like I'm watching a pro, handler of weaponry dismantling their gun right now. This is a deadly team just being taken apart, and no one's even going to touch that point. This weapon is dismantled and currently unusable. Mental Asylum are just on the back foot constantly. And speaking of the back foot, look at that bomb getting thrown, and they're unbinding too! Harry, what the hell is going on right here? Divide Overflow can't be stopped.
I'm scared to answer that question. Do you want to know how many kills Mental Asylum has on this defense? Do you want to know?
I would love to know, Harry.
It's one. They just killed Miniman just then. It's the only kill that they have gotten on this defense. This is not good from the side of Mental Asylum. This is domination from the side of Divide Overflow. Hey, they have 2 kills now. Well done to Airfish for doubling the kill count. They've swapped over to the Diva off of the Sigma there, and I think that's probably a good swap to try and offer some peel. There we go, Juicebox finding Deluxe Wedges, and finally, they stabilize just a little bit.
Oh, they have control of the cart, but for how long, Harry? And look, I've got to say, with 1 kill on the defense for a sec there, the hardest part is usually taking the first step. Now they've got 2, so let's see if we can go a little bit further than that and maybe even hold this. They have ultimates online, so this should be doable.
Yeah, well, they use the Dragon Strike. The Charlie goes down. Crubble didn't use the Transcendence in time to save the main support. Now the Transcendence comes out, and Bob is in the backline, finds Deluxe Wedges. With the Amplification Matrix being used early, it doesn't really seem to matter. Rainbow takes Airfish's Bob off the edge, and it's now just kind of in the backline, uses a Fire Strike, but gets spotted now by Crubble going after the Zenyatta. Oh. Crubble gives him a swift kick to the face, and that will be the Reinhardt falling. A good hold, but, I mean, that's a late pick on Juicebox. They could get a really quick recontest here.
Yeah, but it's also a late pick onto Rainbow because Rainbow, after charging that Bob off of the point, had to rotate all the way around before getting killed. So that is almost just a reset for both teams, or a soft reset for both teams, I suppose. Divide Overflow rolling in really quickly. Casper pushing the advantage, looking to roll through here. There's the Dragons defensively for Mental Asylum. Doesn't find anyone, but Deluxe Wedges is out of this fight, so it is Mental Asylum taking this one by the looks of it. Casper dropping real low and out of mech. Miniman's got to rotate now and get out of jail, and they will not. Yeah, Juicebox is doing amazingly, Harry.
What do you think, from the side of Divide Overflow, what do you think they need to change? Because they have Earthshatter here, but they've just kind of run in 3 fights in a row now, and they've lost 2 minutes of their time.
I think the problem is they keep rolling into fights through an ultimate ability, and because of the Orisa D.Va defense here, they need to get up close and personal to make sure they get around defense matrix. This is good. I was about to say they need to take another avenue and try and take it to the side.
That's so... It's so smart, but Airfish has been left alone on the high ground with the Immortality field getting broken. The self-destruct's in the back line. It's a bit of a threat. Airfish is still up there. Takes down Rainbow as well. Casper and Majojo are still there, and so is Miniman. Casper takes down Disco. It's going to be a D.Va on D.Va fight, and a pause comes in right at the worst moment. Majojo gets taken down by Airfish, and Casper is going to get D-mech'd. I think using the self-destruct as well.
Yeah, that D-mech is really, really unfortunate. They might be about to use that ultimate ability. It's not on my side of things, but I can see they have a sliver of health left. Oh, look, I've got to say, maybe Mental Asylum just needed a couple games to warm up, and I really hope that's the case here, because it certainly looks like they're just coming into it now, and when a better time than before they get to the final point of Blizzard World. We still have a little bit of room between that cut, and now it looks like they're finally taking the advantage back. Casper, ultimate ability online. Aside from that, it's just Rainbow, who's currently dead, an OW player who is about to build theirs. I would suggest that maybe a little bit more time goes by, Harry, before Divide Overflow push this all the way to the end. Or do you think they're just going to roll through this next fight after taking the 2 picks they have for Mental Asylum? Disco, DeCharlie, both out of this fight right here. So what do you reckon?
I think it depends on how long it takes to clean up these kills for the side of Mental Asylum. If they get these kills relatively spaced out, then they have a little bit more time to build Crubble towards that Transcendence. And if they get the Trans, then yeah, they have to use the Bob here. I don't think that was needed, but Crubble takes down Casper. Yeah. The Transcendence will almost definitely be online for this next fight. It builds up quite quickly, and they do have the Dragon Strike. Disco's actually made the swap over to the Reinhardt. I don't like that decision, personally. I think the Orisa was fine.
Yeah, I don't think Bob was necessary there either, but they have guaranteed this fight. The problem is Mental Asylum. Top right of your screen, guys. No ultimates online. Meanwhile, we see Divide Overflow rolling in with 3, Harry.
Yeah, well, that's a self-destruct being used in Earthshatter as well. Airfish gets taken down, but takes down Casper before they can get back into mech. Now, it's going to be a Dragon Strike, but a Transcendence used in retaliation means that they're going on to point. Immortality Field has been forced out. A great Dragon Strike from Juicebox takes down Miniman. Quad finds Rainbow, and that is going to be another fight reset for Divide Overflow. Mental Asylum, they're showing some very strong resilience here.
Mental Asylum are awake now. They've turned on their monitors and their gaming mice and their keyboards, and they are doing well at last. And like I said before, no better time than now, as that card gets so close to being capped at the final point of this game. Now, Divide Overflow rolling into this fight again, Harry.
Yeah, I mean, they come in, they engage with this sound barrier right now. Immortality Field was a little bit too late. Self-destruct finds Majojo, but a huge Death Blossom in the back from Miniman means that this fight is over, and map 2 will go in favor of Divide Overflow after a really good defense from Mental Asylum after second point, obviously.
Oh, it only takes one, Harry, and you can win by an inch or a mile, and that single ultimate ability used at the perfect time was the deal breaker. They couldn't get away from that. There was only a D.Va really to help deny that ultimate ability, and as we can see here, it looks like D.Va gets taken out. Oh, D.Va is demec'd by bombing, that's what I was going to say. So field is completely open for this ultimate to do the trick, and backed up, of course, by a defense matrix of the allied kind as we go through. So a solid 2 points on the board now for Divide Overflow, as you see briefly on your screens there. We are up 2-0. Divide Overflow looking really, really strong tonight. And Mental Asylum, look, they weren't certain for a while there, but they might be turned on now. They might be awake and ready to go. So game 3 should be quite a decisive viewing, I suppose.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've only seen 2 maps, so to call it a pattern might be a little bit of a stretch, but it seems to me that Mental Asylum do really well when their backs are against the wall. You saw it in Busan on the last fights of each round. They were putting their all into it. They looked like they were really competitive with Divide Overflow. The fights were going back and forth. But apart from that, it almost looks like Divide Overflow in non-clutch situations just seem to be having their way with it. I think this is really well played so far from Divide Overflow, and hopefully we see a bit of consistency in the game of a Mental Asylum.
Yes, so far I have to say Divide Overflow look like the team to put your money on. They are on top, and they have been for 2 maps, but I've got to stress that this is not just one and done, and Mental Asylum might as well not bother, because that final defense on Blizzard World was enough to tell us that they can defend, they can stop Divide Overflow, even when the chips aren't in their favor. So, Mental Asylum, regroup, maybe come up with a different plan, maybe just gather yourself together a little bit. You can take this one, and look, if they take this map, I think it will go a huge way towards the confidence boost they need to get into map 4 and 5 and take the points back, because that is, of course, their goal. They've got to win this 3 to something that isn't 3, so they are going to need to play for a 3-2 score here. They could do it. It's going to have to be a perfect run, but I think they can. That said, we're looking at Divide Overflow on this defense. Look at that rollout.
Yeah, I mean, they're straight into it. They're straight at the door. And, I mean, the rotation has to come out here. It's a Bastion on the side of Mental Asylum, and they're just kind of walking out. Disco goes down immediately. The Immortality Fields have been a little bit... more to be desired from the Immortality Fields from the side of the Charlie right there, as we see Airfish getting taken down despite the damage being put in. But Majojo did fall. So without the Lucio there, they don't really have the speed boost to go anywhere, and Airfish just swapped over towards that Widow, because realistically, you only need one more pick and you can win this fight. They come out the left side here.
Yeah, that's a much better pick. The Bastion almost worked, but there was a very, very last minute wall used by OW Player 1 that completely shut that down. So now already a more impactful pick. Airfish finding Mojo Jojo out of that fight. Juicebox also finding Rainbow. But there's the trade. Divide Overflow taking 3 out of this fight. Yes, it's at spawn doors, but look at the time taking down on the block, Harry.
They take down Deluxe Wedges at the end there, and Quad actually demeked Casper as well. So this next fight will almost guaranteed be a win for the side of Mental Asylum. There's not enough heals here for them to sustain. Rainbow is back and Majojo has come back, but without Deluxe, it's going to be really difficult. There's a Dragon Strike onto point, and Casper, the poor baby diva, gets absolutely swallowed, and Rainbow as well. I don't know how Rainbow got taken down by that. That was really up to Deluxe Wedges as well.
Was that going through spawn or something? I did not see that from where I was. That... Oh, perfect. That's what you need. I don't know what I just saw. Everyone just walked into the draft. They saw the mounts coming and they were like, you know what? Yeah, this is a good place to go. Now they can set up a little bit of a crossfire here with a double shield and the snipers. And there's the window coming out. The amplification matrix being used. Good AWOL, but Juicebox finds Majojo. Huge shatter coming out though. 4 people on the ground. Airfish does take down Rainbow, and that's 2 for 2 trade. Airfish gets taken out by OW Player, and Miniman finds Juicebox. The Charlie goes down, but Disco still there. The Orisa fighting hard with Quad taking down Miniman. It's going to be Casper and Deluxe Wedges, taking down Disco, and OW Player taking down Quad. This is a weird Havana. I just love that. Sorry, in the corner.
Sorry.
That's fantastic. Yeah, look, you're absolutely right. Havana is playing super strange here, and usually you see the cart gets pushed almost all the way after spawn camp defense gets broken, but no, it's only at first corner, and that opens up the avenue for great actions like that with Bomb just clearing the field, Harry.
It is such a smart bomb as well. Quad's up in the air using the Graviton Flux, and Casper just takes it down. Miniman's there, and they're using the Death Blossom as well. I mean, Deluxe Wedges has lagged out, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, losing Wedges there, really unlucky, because I don't actually remember if they had ultimate ability, and I was about to say they did.
I think they were close.
I think they were at least above 50% charge, and that's gotta suck, because defending, you need everything you can, because spawn is so far away, and I don't know how well this will work.
No, neither do I. I mean...
Oh, they are back in. No, they're back pretty quick.
They are back. The way that Mental Asylum are playing this is strange to me, because they're not really setting off they're not really taking any angles of approach at all. They're just going down main, all of them grouped together, and then they're getting run into by Divide Overflow. You need to see Airfish and Juicebox taking off angles. And I mean, Casper is trying. It will be able to try to shut off someone, but one or the other has to take an off angle and find something, because that's desperately what they need right now. They need someone to pop off. They need someone to rally them back into this game. And with Miniman using that Death Blossom in the back line here, it seems like they're going to... it seems like they're just going to win this team fight straight away, unless Crubble decides to invest a trans for no reason particularly.
I think they definitely take out DeCharlie in this fight at least. No one else is super close to where that ultimate's going off, though. So Miniman might only find one, or they might slide their way over all towards Crubble. They do find that. It's not with the ultimate, but it doesn't matter. They do clean the rest of that up. And again, they hold defense. This almost feels like the spawn camp defense, but delayed, right? Because Carp hasn't moved that far away, and I feel like they could let it roll back, hold the team, and then continue to almost spawn camp.
Oh, that's a good Dragon Strike. It actually forces them back, and now they can take a little bit of a position on the Kai, and Airfish now has position on the high ground so they can fire freely. Disco gets taken down, trying to charge the Bongo, and OW player gets taken down using the Mayon as well. Disco's found 3 in this fight. This is a great play from the main tank of Mental Asylum, and that is exactly what you needed. They found...
Oh. We may or may not have Harry here right now. That could have been Harry dropping out of this game, so that gives me the opportunity to now open my fat mouth and start talking. And so far, it looks like Mental Asylum might be taking this one. They are rolling so close to the point. There's the touch. Last minute for Divide Overflow. They are rolling out onto this fight. Discord is currently on Rainbow, but they have Ultimate online. They're going to use that. Maybe Shatter. No, they're going to win this fight without any ultimates needed. That is just better playstyle right there. Quad getting out with a sliver of health left, and Airfish forced to drop. That's the touch, and now, yes, Spawn is super duper close to the side of Mental Asylum. Disco rolls out and is able to touch, but you've got to remember, they've all got to run their way back, and most of the team just arriving now in overtime. Quad dropping to that shatter used by Rainbow. There's Bomb getting chucked in. It lands. It doesn't find anything but the Immortality Lamp, but that's okay because everyone is using their weaponry and their hammer to great extent, and that is the end of the push by Mental Asylum. Not even getting to first point. Divide Overflow roll their way back, and they're able to hold this here. That's 1 point for all of Havana. Just to recap very quickly, there's the distance on your screen right now, 83.65 meters. It's not even first point. So this, I would hazard a guess, is probably Divide Overflows to win. Mental Asylum have to change things up heavily to hold on to this one. And look, they might well do this, but at this point in time, I want to say the advantage goes to Divide Overflow. We've seen it work really, really well for them so far all night. It's very, very close. They only have to push it. As I said before, 83.65 meters. And they are attacking, so they have spawn advantage. They have the advantage of quickly switching characters. They can do a lot here. All they're going to have to make sure they do is they don't drop to something different. And we see Juicebox maybe rolling out on a Farah here. We have Pharmacy as an option. We have Airfish damage boosted right now, so this might make the difference. It might be enough that Mental Asylum are able to spawn camp for the majority of this starter, but we don't see anything hugely impactful. No May, no Reaper, no Symmetra to do huge amounts of damage. So I don't know if this is enough, honestly, for Mental Asylum to hold on to this. Gates are opening. We're about to get started now, and we see that initial rollout out the other door. It finds Quad, and Quad drops super low into a May. It's going to demech and take Quad out of this fight. Now Deluxe Wedge is finding trouble out of this fight as well. Juicebox in the background has to take out the Immortality Lamp first. Misses a hook. Currently contesting card. Charlie getting taken out here by Miniman. Mojo Jojo finds Charlie as well, and Casper finds Juicebox. It was a valiant effort, but no, it's not going to work out. That spawn camp was the most valuable defense option that Mental Asylum had, and it is not going to pay off. So now it is Stagger Fest time. It is time to get back on card as quickly as physically possible, over and over and over and over and over again until time runs out. And they are here. They are defending, but it is so close. Believe this or not, though, Divide Overflow actually jumped off point now to take cross sorry, a crossfire position right here. And it looks like Juicebox maybe on the high ground is going to win this fight. Rainbow, though, finding T'Challa. This is not good. Mojo taking Quad out of this fight, too. It is just Mental Asylum getting taken apart. And they have now rolled their way fairly off card to reset here. I actually don't like that. I actually do like this. I was going to say this seems like they're way too far back. But again, Cart was not being pushed here. So now they have enough time to jump back on and touch, and Quad is going to roll in there. That Wrecking Ball, so great for jumping on Cart and touching. It's brought the advantage. Disco shatters, but no! Rainbow lands his first. Immortality Lamp is going to do very little here, but support the heck out of Divide Overflow. There are those May ultimates getting used. Freeze on both sides, but it's only really advantage. Giving the advantage to Juicebox, who survives slightly longer in that ultimate. There's OW player using that ability on the high ground. They're looking at Quad. Quad is hiding right now, but they are losing health quickly. Spin to win, baby. It's not going to work out. 2 minutes on the clock right now, and Divide Overflow look like they are going to control this one. Disco currently touching, losing way too much health. Crubble now rolling in, still, again, losing health, and it is down to the last couple meters. There is a touch, but only for a second. Charlie is not close enough. Airfish is not close enough. That is it. Divide Overflow, take it. 3-0.
Yeah, they do take it indeed. Apologies for the technical difficulties there as we see Disco getting the play of the game. Thank you very much for the welcome back. I mean, throughout the series, it just seemed like Divide Overflow were just dominant throughout the series. We did see some moments of brilliance coming from the side of Mental Asylum, but Divide Overflow consistently just played extremely well. There really wasn't a lot that Mental Asylum could do. It's just something you have to go back and learn from.
Yeah, pretty much. I think it was two different teams of two different skill styles. Divide Overflow have a different play style and different skill set to Mental Asylum, and I don't think it's something negative to take away, and I hope Mental Asylum don't feel too bad about the way that game played, because they have a lot of prowess and a lot of potential. But in this particular matchup, I think Divide Overflow are the ones that take this each time. And yeah, we saw how well they played here into this game, into the strong defense time and time again, into that repeated, faster, quicker fight and target focus for Divide Overflow. So I've got to say, really well played by them, by both teams, but especially to Divide Overflow for taking this 3-0.
Yeah, most definitely. I think we have to give out a little bit of a player of the game award, and
for sure.
For me personally, I think that it has to go over to the side of Casper. I think Casper played extremely well throughout the entire series. There really wasn't anything that you could fault Casper on doing.
Yeah.
Throughout the series, they played their role extremely well. They knew where to be any point in time. And I mean, they came out with the 3-0 victory.
Yeah. I would say my pick for the player of that game is Quad. Specifically for the point on Blizzard World first, where they were demeched multiple times and found multiple picks with the demeched Baby Diva, pew pew blaster. I think Quad did a lot for Mental Asylum, and I'm pretty impressed with the way they played. Yeah, like I said, it just ends up being a bit of a difference in teams overall, and I think everyone played really, really well. It's just a matter of who came out on top. And tonight, Divide Overflow take that crown.
Yeah,
I think that just about wraps up the first game we have tonight. We are going to see what we can work out and get into game number 2. I know there are a couple of logistical issues currently with that game, but look, we will be
phased out of existence.
Harry is trying to disappear quickly. I think he needs to go to the toilet or something. He's trying to morph away. We will be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. You'll catch us back on stream in just a moment. We're going to get the next game set up and ready to go, and hopefully we will be right back with you in a sec.
Let's just get this this straight for a second. I'ma work, even if I don't get paid for progression. I'ma get it. Everything that I do is electric. I'ma keep it in motion, keep it moving like kinetic. Put this shit in a frame, better know I don't blame everything that I say. Man, I see you deflate. Let me elevate this in a brain. Have you walking on a plane? La 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 la. Hold hands together, God, let me pray. I been going right around, go that relay. Pass the baton, back in the mall, swimming in the pool, can't do them all. When a piece of this, a piece of mine, my piece of sign. Can you please read between the lines? My rhymes inclined to break your spine. They say that I'm so fine, you could never match my grind. Please do not waste my time. What you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When it's too much, put that shit in slow motion. What you know about rolling down in the rolling down in the What you know about rolling down in the
That's one small step for man.
you know, what you know, down it, what you know, what you know. What you know about rolling down in the ocean? She say that I'm cool. I'm like, yeah, that's true. I believe in G-O-D, don't believe in T-H-O-T. She keep playing me dumb, I'm a player for fun. Y'all don't really know my mental, let me give you the picture like stencil. Falling out in a drought, no flow rain was pouring down. See that pain was all around, see my mode was kinda lounge. Didn't know which way to turn, flow was cool but I still felt burned. Energy up, you can feel my surge, I'ma kill everything like this purge. What you know about rolling down in the 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 down in the. What you know about rolling down in the. What you know about. When these people talk too much, put that shit in slow motion, yeah. I feel like an astronaut in the ocean, 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 ocean. What you know about rolling? When these people talk too much, put that shit in slow motion, yeah. I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. Let's just get this straight for a second. I'ma work, even if I don't get paid for progression. I'ma get it. Everything that I do is electric. I'ma keep it in motion, keep it moving like kinetic. Put this shit in a frame, better know I don't blame everything that I say. Man, I see you deflate. Let me elevate this in a break. Have you walking on a plane? La 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 la. Hold hands together, God, let me work. I can go right around, go that relay. Pass the baton, back in the mall, swimming in the pool, can't do them all. When a piece of this, a piece of mine, my piece of sign. Can you please in between the lines? My rhymes inclined to break your spine. They say that I'm so fine, you could never match my grind. Please do not waste my time. What you know about rolling down in the down? When your brain goes numb, and you call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that shit in slow motion. What you know about rolling down in the. Rolling down in the. What you know about rolling down in the.
That's one small step for man.
And we are back. I know it's been a bit of a wait, but we are good to go. We're back with game number 2. This is AOL Season 14, Stage 2, Week 4. I'm Sdogga Man. I've got Harry next to me. It hasn't changed. We're about to get started with these games. We know we're late, so let's get straight into the roster for both of these teams, kicking things off with the team on the left tonight, ANU.
Yeah, ANU.
Harry, do you want to, talk us through it?
So starting off, we have Sir Nare on the main tank role, Boba on the off tank role, Red Cloud and Marcus going over to that DPS role, and Gen Problem and Ranger on the support role. This team has been around for a couple of years. It's a university team, and they've only added a couple new players recently. We're not 100% sure. We haven't been given clarification on who that is, but could be interesting to see how those players synergize with the team.
Yeah, and on the other side of things tonight, bringing the fight to them is Ambition Rapture, a team that's been together for over 2 months, but with a core roster that have played on multiple previous teams together. One of the players that I'm about to name is never allowed to play Genji in scrims. We have, of course, a fantastic roster of Raiden on main tank, Myth subbing in on off tank, Sledgy on the hit scan DPS, or we may actually be swapping that up to Jellycopter on the DPS. We've got Gian on flex DPS, Frozen who is a sub for main support, and Rule with Love on the flex support side, and it is Gian who is never allowed to play Genji, although that picture might lead you guys slightly astray, because that certainly does seem to be our favorite green and gray cybernetic friend. Now, getting started here on Bussin', my favorite map to play. We are looking at a really fun matchup so far. It looks like on the side of Rapture, we might have a Wrecking Ball and Sigma start, and then more of a classic brawl on the side of ANU. We're getting started, activating objective. Harry, talk me through very quickly the first thing that we see rolling out of the gate and what we expect.
Okay, so if we're going to see the right side, the drum control being taken from the side of ANU with that Reaper in with that Soldier as well. The Soldier is a really good pick into the Wrecking Ball. It's so much sustainable damage onto the character, and straight away finds value. Lazy Turtle taking out Mitsua on that Brigitte, and a sleep onto Raider means that not a lot of value has been generated. Thankfully, this fight is a little bit more labored in its existence as the Lazy Turtle takes out Gian. So, I mean, realistically, as long as the side of Rapture just stay back a bit, they should be able to get respawns and then come back into this fight, making the swap over to the Soldier now as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good switch, and I think that'll do the trick here. They just need that extra consistent damage, and I think it's going to do a lot. Now, the point does go in favor of ANU initially, and first fight favor seems to be on their side as well. Raiden currently sleeping on that high ground. No one's really rolled on it, although they do use that purple anti-nade to do a ton. And Raiden, a sliver of health as they run away just underneath here, not getting healed up. There's that beat getting dropped on point right now. ANU looking very strong here, rolling around the front. It might well be Mitsuha dropping out of this fight, although those supports are playing it safe. ANU doing well to hold on to this early on. Myth getting forced back now where they are resetting, and Raiden unable to do too much due to the lack of health, having to roll all the way around the map here as rolling out of this fight. But Harry, they have not all gone down, so it is a quick recontest.
Yeah, it's a really quick recontest. Raiden pile driving in using the adaptive shield. He lived on 7 HP in that last fight. Now we see the Tactical Visor coming out, and we see the Graviton Flux and the Mines as well being used. That's 3 ultimates committed, 4 ultimates committed. I don't think the Transcendence was really needed from Rule with Love, but Raiden goes down anyway. And we see the Tactical Visor coming out from the side of ANU. They're trying to bring this fight back. It's going to be Lazy Turtle on the side, but Mitsua's found 2 in this fight. Myth takes down Lazy Turtle, and late investments in ultimates from both teams means that there isn't really a lot for either team to work with next fight.
Yeah, there we go. That's a really quick flip, Harry, and you're exactly right. There's bugger all to work with, really, on the side of Ambition Rapture, and that's not ideal going into a team that already has Shatter and a Grav online. But, well, they might be able to hold this. If they can convert those 2 ultimates into a lack of potential for the side of ANU, they might well hold on to this and flip.
Big Shatter.
Unfortunately, that Shatter is not going to help them. That does land on 3, and they find those picks. Raiden now forced to just buy as long as they can. Spin to win, but the Beyblade ain't going to do crap here because they are looking at 4 damage-dealing characters on the side of ANU, so that is a flip. 53 now to 37%, Harry, and it is back on the blue side.
Yeah, they crucially didn't have to use the Graviton Surge there, and they now have the Death Blossom coming up. This next fight looks like a win. Do you think we need to see a change up from the side of Rapture here, Sdogga?
Yeah, I think I think definitely, Harry. That composition might need to flip things up, and as I say that, RT Marcus might make that really easy with that threesome onto Rule, Jelly, and Mitsuha, taking them all out of that fight very quickly. That's, I think, the perfect opportunity to reset, if I'm completely honest with you. Flip some things up, maybe change up a tank or a DPS or two, or even a support, and take it to them in a different way. Now, ANU flipping over 86% on the point, so this is final fight territory, Harry.
Good stick. Gian takes down Ocean Depths immediately, and now it's going to be the minefields onto the point. And Marty Marcus goes down to it. Lazy Turtle gets taken down, and they have point presence now. Soundberry invested, despite there only being 3 people left. Bobatron gets taken down, and it's just going to be Sir and AU stuck there. Oh. Great play coming out from the side of Rapture. That was so quick from them. Decisive play.
Yeah, a good and lucky flip right there. Losing that fight would have been the end of the first round of Busan, and they could not afford that. So flipping over now, really ideal, up to 47%. So we're halfway there for the side of Ambition Rapture. It's just ANU's game to lose at this point, making sure they get onto point. And of course, if you're at the side of Rapture, making sure they do not touch will win it for you. Now, there's that site's going to use down this channel, so it's going to be a lot of damage. But in the meantime, it finds the entire team. Shatter taking the whole team down. That's the end of that. Jelly is unable to do anything now and forced to move off to the side as the tanks for ANU roll onto point. There's just nothing that Jellius can do. They're going to try and run onto point here, but it's not going to work out very well. They won't get there in time, and yeah,
that's at 6K.
Harry, first round goes to ANU.
Yeah, 6K to Cerner AU. I mean, it was just kind of a poor decision from Rapture to try and fight on the drums there. I mean, you were building up towards your Graviton Flux there. You really didn't need to try and brawl it out with them, especially with the composition that you had. Now you see the wholesale compositions coming off and swapping around, but I don't know if the Doomfist is really going to provide that much. Yeah, no, they swap over to the Reaper. I think that's a good swap.
Yeah, and also swapping to the Diva here, I think, for Ambition Rapture is the right idea. ANU just running that Brawl into a non-Brawl is always going to be a tough situation, but into something off-meta like that isn't specifically designed to beat a Brawl is really tough. Rapture going on to more of a stalwart display for this side of things is definitely a good pick. And now they're going to take that initial first fight, Harry, across the top here.
Yeah, well, it's all about cohesion. That's a great May wall right there. Good speed boost engage, and there's the Immortality Field forced out advantage right now over to the side of ANU, but that's a good May wall as well. It stops a little bit of backing up there from the side of Cerner AU, and they have no shield really to play with right now. A set of control in favor of Ambition Rapture, and they're just walking forward. Another good May wall doesn't really cut anyone off, though. Unfortunately, Myth gets put to sleep. Big shot from Raiden, though, puts 5 on their back. That is some terrific Reinhardt play coming out from the side of Raiden, and they are cleaning up the big German burly man with the hammer, swings through. Great fight win for Ambition Rapture.
Yeah, well done, Rapture. They did a very good job there to take that, and that is first cap of the game, as a matter of fact, Harry. So neither team touching point there. The entirety of that was first fight. I know we've got multiple ults online, but believe it or not, that is actually first cap. And now, yeah, we are going to control this with Raiden just doing a little bit of corner work there, trying to find the team. Both walls going up. It actually stopped Shatter on top of the wall right there.
Great fire strike. Shatter again! Raiden! Raiden has played absolutely incredible in this Reinhardt. It makes you think why they weren't playing this originally. 4 people down now for the side of ANU as they start moving forward, trying to clean up these kills. It's going to be Ambition Rapture once again winning this fight. And the main difference, I think, at the moment is that Ruined Love is playing the Baptiste, whereas Ocean Depths is playing the Honor.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have to agree with you on that one there, Harry. And next fight rolling in already. Look at this early aggression from Gian.
Oh, this is just incredible! Blizzard with the Death Blossom. Lazy Turtle used the Blizzard as well, but it died in the middle of casting it, so that Blizzard has gone to waste. This has been domination from the side of Rapture. Crucially, it was a point flip for the side of ANU, but it's flipped right back over, 47% to 7%. This is domination on the broad composition from Rapture.
Yeah, this is what you need if you are Rapture. That first map didn't really go in your favor, but this is the flip that you need. Controlling this like this and giving them no chance to touch point, no dominance, is the ticket.
Yeah, well, we see the RT Marcus teleporting to the high ground using the Death Blossom. Immortality Field wasn't enough. They used the Shadow as well just to guarantee the fight win. That's a team wipe, and it will be the flip at 72% right now for the side of ANU. They have an uphill battle ahead, especially with no ultimates.
Yeah, exactly, and that's tough, but certainly not a guaranteed loss, I think, Harry. This is Look, they've got the high ground, they've got the control of point here, so they just need to make sure they mitigate wherever ANU decide to roll in, and there is a big shatter getting blocked.
Raiden actually got RT Marcus and put Genful Problem on the floor as well. Ocean Depths goes down as AU falls as well. Jellius is cleaning up on the May. This is some great play coming out from the Reinhardt of Ambition Rapture. Incredible stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's another point flip too, Harry. So now things are back in the favor of Ambition Rapture, and we are quickly looking at final fight territory. So it is ANU's game to lose at this point, having to roll through this high ground and make sure they take and control that point. Look, I'm not sure that they're going to get it. Mitsuhara in the background use that beat.
It's all about this grab. Nano Boost goes on to Cerner AU, but Immortality Field is used. High Noon now coming out from Lazy Turtle, catches on to Raiden. Now it's going to be a Sound Barrier used. Graviton Surge is probably going to get invested very shortly if they don't clean up this fight quickly, but Lazy Turtle finds Gian, so they probably don't really need to now. High Energy Zarya beaming down the May of Jellius right there. Myth gets D-Mech. Jellius forced the Lazy Turtle, and they capture the point without having to expel any of the tank ultimates or Sound Barrier. That is great play from the side of ANU and really good discipline from Bobatron.
Now, on the one side, that's really unfortunate for Rapture not being able to win there, but on the other side of things, this is a final fight for them, while there is only 50% at best for ANU right now. If they can counter those ultimates, maybe just stop at least one of them from landing, they have this in the bag, but ANU have almost 4 to call upon and to use here, and that rotation might just be the difference. Big fake.
Big shatter again! Even bigger shot from the other side, though. It's you trying to get people down, but it's too little, too late. The amplification matrix meant that there was so much damage, they couldn't stop it. Gem Problem goes onto the point to try and take a little bit more stall there. It's going to be a Blizzard just invested on the point as a celebration. Domination from the side of Ambition Rapture. It seemed like every fight, they were in it to win it.
Yeah, and just ensuring that no one can, quickly speed through that Blizzard to get back on point. That's a good way to solidify it, but I think that one was in the bag for them the entirety of that game. I don't particularly feel like ANU had much of a chance, at least visually, throughout a lot of that, and I think that shows. ANU certainly could control a game. We saw that in the first one, and that might happen here, but I think once that initial aggression and that initial advantage went away from them, they struggled to regain control and, hold on to control. Now, point 3, game number 3, this might be different.
Yeah, well, Lazy Turtle goes over to that Widowmaker, so it's going to be on Ambition Rupture to try and play a lot faster. I think if they go on this right side and take control of the Mega Health Pack, they will be fine. But no, they're going to go main, and it's going to be Lazy Turtle now looking for those sight lines. They need to play fast, and it looks like that's what they want to do. Good May wall comes up, and straight away they take out RT Marcus. That's an incredibly decisive play. Bobatron does find Gian in the back line, but with Cerner AU and RT Marcus down, there's really not a lot of damage right there. Lazy Turtle gets taken down. Mitsuha, the Lucio, asserting a little bit of dominance on the Widowmaker there, and Bobatron does get out with some high charge, but it looks like first point control will go in favor of Rapture.
Yeah, and that's really huge. Rapture taking control here is the key. Like I said, with last game, all they needed to do was take first point and then hold it, and that's exactly what won them the game, and it's going to happen again here by the looks of it. ANU already rolling their way in, though, so this might be how they take it. And that is a big anti-nade initially into this fight. It does help find Cernau out of the game, but Gian just doing so well with that Macacity in the backline, and yeah, it looks like another control for Ambition Rapture.
You'd say so, but that's another big anti, which means none of the kills can be confirmed right now. RT Marcus teleporting into the backline, trying to get this. Bobatron is still there with high charge and has the Graviton Surge as well. They've taken control of the high ground. Myth does get back into mech, so there is a chance for this grab to be eaten, but Raw with Love is very low. Graviton Surge invested, and it's going to be a shatter. Doesn't really find anything except for Cerner. Now it's going to be Gian, though, flipping it around, taking out Gen Problem. Cerner falls to Raiden. Raw with Love finds RT Marcus, and it's going to be the Amplification Matrix invested in the back of the point. Ocean Depths is still on the high ground. It takes out Raiden, and Mitsuha dies very, very late in the fight, but it will not matter as we see Ambition Rapture continue their dominance on this brawl composition.
Yeah, Rapture are doing a fantastic job of controlling things once they get into a position of power, and I think they are slightly outplaying ANU. They just need to be careful of that initial fight potential, that initial breach with ANU, and look at how closely ANU are holding gathered right here around Cernau, doing their best. Oh, there's a great block on that, and the bomb getting in to confirm, and Gian with the double as well, just guaranteeing this is a fight over.
Yeah, and now they're going to try and clean up these kills as well. You see Artie Marcus falling. Bobatron is hiding in the backline right now. But these fights are taking so long for the side of ANU just because of the Ana being played rather than the Baptiste. The Immortality field isn't there. They can't play as fast as they want to. Raiden gets caught out, gets the shatter off though onto Ocean Depths. That's a big kill. Can someone touch the point? It's 96%. They're trying to gatekeep the Lucio off the point. 98, they get the touch. Artie Marcus takes out Gian. But Jen probably tried to use the sound barrier and goes down. Now it's a Blizzard on the point. Nothing to counteract that. Cerner goes down to Jellius. High Noon being used, but Lazy Turtles. High Noon gets eaten. RT Marcus using a Death Blossom on the point finds two. Jellius and Roll Up going down right now. Mitsui gets taken down by Lazy Turtle. RT Marcus takes down Myth in the Baby Diva form. It's just going to be Raiden on the point, taking down RT Marcus. But Bobaton back on the Wrecking Ball means that they finally flip the point, 99% to 0%. This is going to be one hell of a comeback if they want to win this round and this map.
They actually flipped it there. I was not going to call that all the way up until I saw 4 or 5 on the side of the red team getting knocked out there. Look, they're in control now. They can hold this, but ANU are just a single fight away from taking it, and there's that quick rotation. Let's see if they can take this back, or if this now goes up to 99 for ANU.
Yeah, well, crucially, Bobatron is stuck on the Wrecking Ball right now. It's going to be an Amplification Matrix used. Not really finding any value from it right now. But too much pressure onto them. Now it's the Immortality field being forced out thanks to some great Wrecking Ball play from Bobatron. But Jellius takes down Lazy Turtle, and RT Marcus has fallen as well. There's no damage on the side of ANU right now. It's just Bobatron trying to stall at the point, but throws it up. How can you do this against the May and the Cassidy, who just stun, stall, boop off the map? Bobatron's down. ANU will fall, and Ambition Rupture will take map 1.
That's it. Rapture doing really well to control Busan as we roll through 3 quick and decisive games. ANU did take first point, but I think Rapture really quickly turned it on and had the measure of ANU, and that was a very, very dominant way to start this second game tonight. Big shatter as well in the play of the game. I'm a big fan of something as strong and decisive as this, and clean up the Zarya. There it is. Fantastic. Good game. Let's roll on to map 3. Oh, sorry, to map 2, not map 3. We are not there yet. We have 1 point on the board, and there have been no draws, so we could not be there.
Look, if we continue to see this mirror matchup on the Brawl composition, Sdogga, we might be at map 3 quicker than we think. Rapture playing it so cleanly.
Yeah, Rapture are doing very well. I think ANU are a strong opponent for them, but it should be a close one to watch. I think Rapture, I think they have what it takes to go up against whatever ANU want to roll out on, I suppose. The main thing to keep an eye on here is ANU's unpredictability. We saw them roll out on a strange composition to begin with, and I think if they decide to do something like that again, it's going to be hard for Rapture to understand how to counter that. If they roll out on something just totally off meta, it might be enough that by the time they come around to it and they understand how to counter it, the map is already half over. So look, let's see what they do once we get in here. I'm looking forward to Rapture being equally as strong as they were previously, but also to ANU being to ANU doing something very different and maybe surprising us.
Yeah, well, it's going to be Rapture on the defense here as ANU will take up the attack, and I think that's pretty good for Rapture. I think you prefer to be on the defense. I guess the main thing is that we saw some differences from Rapture. Like, we saw the Wrecking Ball composition come out, and they didn't look too bad at it. They made a crucial error against the Brawl composition, but they didn't look too bad on that Wrecking Ball Sigma composition. I'm sure they would be able to play that Diva Winston composition as well, the more divey composition, I should say. It really comes down to, if they go back into that mirror match, you need to see Ocean Depths swapping over to the Baptiste. I've been harping on it all of last map, but it really just provides so much more value than an Ana, unless every single fight your Ana is hitting 3 or 4 person nades. It just doesn't provide the value. Nano Boost is nowhere close to as good as Immortality Field just as an ability. It's just so difficult for Ocean Depths to really get any value from this pick, especially against the Diva.
I agree. Yeah, Ocean Depths has their work cut out for them. But so do both the tanks on each side here. I'm looking forward to the next 2 seconds to see if I see ANU doing something unusual, and not quite, but this is a strong way to defend here regardless. So, the defense, the offense, pretty normal for Blizzard World. I wanted to see them doing something unusual, but I think this is a solid pick and a solid way to roll here. Bobatron doing a good job on that off tank, and I think I would say Myth is certainly bringing it to them. My real focus here will be the DPS and how the DPS roll around each other, because it could very well be easily Gian's game to win, just cracking headshot after headshot, or we might see a quick teleport by RT Marcus and Lazy Turtle jumping in with a flashbang and a fan, and game's over, you know? Gate's about to open, so we're about to get started, and yeah, let's see what they do, Harry.
Well, I'd like to see the Metro. I think you could just TP past the double steal, or at least get onto high ground and force Myth off the high ground, because now you really have to rotate to force him off, and they're going to take so much poke damage in the meantime. That's a great Sonic Arrow to scout out the movement there. We see the Ash being picked up again, double sniper. Good use of the defense matrix from Bobatron. Huge pull, though, coming out from the side of Ambition Rapture, and now they get onto the point. This is exactly where the brawl composition wants to be. We see Raiden using that Fortify, and a great dynamite means everyone's on fire, but DJ Cup picks up Raiden. It's going to be a Resurrect coming in from Mitsua, unpunished as well. Good rock, but eventually Mitsua falls. Now it's just going to be Raiden setting up on the point. It's all about Rule with Love and a healing from Rule with Love. Can Gian find any picks? It's going to be chased down by the Reinhardt. Even after he got onto the high ground, it's going to be the window coming out, and eventually it looks like Ambition Rapture will fall. That's really good rotation from the side of ANU, despite some pretty good individual play coming from the side of Ambition Rapture, and honestly, some pretty good team players in general as well.
Yeah, exactly. Rapture, not the strongest defense that I expected from them, but I think first point, especially rolling into a match against a team like ANU, is certainly an unusual one, and you don't have a lot of confidence in what they're going to run and what to expect. So, look, point 2 should be an easier defense just because it gives you a bit more space and time to plan ahead. So let's see what they can do. Early, good rocks early on, and a couple ultimates for them to use too. And there's that Graphitic Flux picking up.
That's a big Graphitic Flux with the Bob as well. It's so much damage. High note from Lazy Turtle finds 3. Julius does pick up Ocean Depth, so it might be hard to keep going. RT Marcus as well falls to the Bob. Myth picks up Lazy Turtle. How have they managed to turn this Ambition Rapture? That is insane gameplay coming out from the side of their tanks and their DPS to turn a fight in which Lazy Turtle found 3 to start it off. Bobatron gets demexed, and it could be a little bit of a stagger. No, they don't stagger it out. In fact, they just immediately kill the Baby Diva. That might be a little bit of a mistake, and Raiden might be overextended a little bit.
Yeah, it's very possible that was, but I think in the grand scheme of things, just quickly getting that reset is perfectly fine for both teams here. And look, it's going to cost them regardless, because every second they stall this is going to be very beneficial. Let's see what they do here. There's that. There's the bongos getting used pretty quickly.
Yeah, Bongo's getting used very quickly, and that's just because Myth is doing so much damage on this Sigma. It's going to be a self-destruct just kind of placed there. Raiden falls, but Bobatron also fell before they could get back to back. Another Graviton blocks, but RT Marcus in the back, using the Death Blossom, finds 3. Lazy Turtle found Mitsua before that as well, and Cerner cleans up Myth. Great team fight coming from the side of ANU. Although they had to expel quite a few ultimates, they still have 2 crucial ones in the bank.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to make the biggest difference. But note the card is only a certain... It's not that close to point number 2, and that buys time for ANU Rapture to control this. And they do find 2 quick picks right there. Rule with Love doing a lot of damage through that wall, and now they roll forwards, just making sure they clean this up. ANU retaking this. Gian doing a great job taking Bobatron out of this fight, and Jelly is backing it up. That's going to be a quick and decisive reset for ANU.
That was so aggressive from Tide of Ambition Rapture. They swapped to the Reinhardt, and they were like, okay, W key now. They just immediately run over Cerner. They don't even allow them to use the ultimates. This is a great play from Rapture, and it's exactly the heads-up play you need to see from them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Nero is doing a really great job, and really controlling the way these 2 fights go. Playing into Raiden, though, a strong main tank, certainly for the side of Rapture.
What?
And it's quality, I guess.
Yeah, Cerner just fell. Huge shatter coming from the side of Raiden, and in fact, that's just going to clean up the fight right there. Lazy Turtle gets stunned out of the high noon. They're using ultimates here. Ocean Devs thinks this is winnable, but no one is there to really use the amplification matrix. It's just Ocean Devs and Bobatron. Ocean did find Jelly, but I mean, it's just a key ultimate gone. They need to be using these ultimates a lot smarter than that.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish I could tell you that was a good way to solidify a couple of picks, but honestly, it's just as quick for Ambition Rapture to regroup and roll back here as it is for ANU to get back in. So really nothing achieved there by using that. Although, you know what? Maybe they want to switch at some point.
Yeah, well, that's a self-destruct. Sent in, finds DJ Gup, and actually just landed on Lucio's head. That is such a clean fight win again. What a good disengage, and Bobatron is going to get stalled out here. Oh, no. Oh, you poor sod. Goodbye.
That do be the way it do be for a Diva player, especially since Goats made that something that we all knew well. And yeah, you know what? You got to do what you got to do. Rapture are buying as much time as they can, and it shows 1 minute 40 on the clock right now with the cart rolling its way back towards point number 1. This is a good show from them so far, Harry.
Yeah, it is. This is an interesting rotation. Cerno still has his Earth Shadow. He's been holding on to this for quite a long time. Raiden's already built up a second Earth Shadow in that time. So it really is showing how much damage. That's a good block, though. Most of the damage mitigated is going to be Amplification Matrix. A big Shadow. 4 people fall. Raiden is on fire on this Reinhardt right now. It's going to be a little bit of a flank from Ocean Depths, but he's found, caught out. He will go down eventually. The last member of ANU to stand actually takes out Jellius in the meantime. He's still there. Ocean Depth's great adventure comes to an end thanks to a Fire Strike from Raiden. Some great play from Ambition Rapture. They're just asserting dominance on this composition right now, Sdogga.
Yeah, absolutely. Rapture are doing very, very well. They've got the measure of ANU, and ANU are struggling to bring it to them, although I do really like these rotations. It seems like every time they go to play, ANU have an idea. They know what they're going to do. They've got calls and comms. RT Marcus looking to use an ability in there and get some value, and it almost does. It gets a lot of people very low, and they're able to capitalize on this. ANU in control right now. Just Jellius against the world, and although they do touch Cart for a moment, it's not enough. Now, Cart not close enough yet to actually be capped, so ANU probably roll back and do control this, or at least contest this.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good amplification matrix, and with Rule Would Love going down, they use the Shadow as well. So many ultimates expelled with that. I don't know if that was really needed. You already had all of the advantage, but, you know, you take the extra kill. Stat padding is what we'll call it. Lazy Turtle finding 4 in that fight. Really good play from Lazy Turtle on the hit scan to really find these picks, but yeah, I mean, right now, Ambition Rapture, they still are in the driver's seat.
Yeah, absolutely, and they are showing that they know what they're doing, and I think that's really cool. I think I'm a big fan of the way Rapture are trying to play this over and over and going really quickly. Jellius going to use that high noon in the back just to maybe zone people out. Big Shadow gets landed on 3. They roll in and try and
so good.
Yeah.
He's just so good. Raiden is just absolutely destroying. This is an MTD if I have ever seen one. They even get the D-Mech on Bobatron before they can get back into spawn, and in fact, instead of swapping back in spawn, despite not having the bomb, they choose to stick and try and build up that mech. That's precious time. Ocean Depths caught out a little bit, but Raiden overextends for the kill. It's going to be Myth using the self-destruct there, not finding anything, trying to get the remake kill on Ocean Depths. In fact, takes down the immortality, but Ocean Depths goes down in the end eventually anyway. Turner needs to build up this Earth Shatter quickly and maybe get a free Earth Shatter, but it's free damage for the side of ANU right now. But Lazy Turtle, RT Marcus, sorry, gets booped off by Mature. Lazy Turtle all the way in the back, finding those picks though. Mature falls, Jellius falls, Giaz falls, and Myth will fall as well. It's just Raiden left. They have to back up. Rule Would Love and Raiden have to get out before they get stagger killed.
Yeah, ANU are going to roll this card pretty close to the end, I think, here. But Ambition Rapture are going to be back in full strength, and we have a couple of important ultimates on the line right here. There's Window getting put down right as I say it. Surnow's going to get in the background, make sure they don't get picked off here to land that Shadow. They're looking for it. Is it going to land on anyone? Myth currently contesting card. There's that beat. Does
He waited so long.
No, Gian in there with Raiden on Shadow as well. It's going to do everything. The bomb is not going to find anything, and no one is alive for ANU. So that is where Cart will stop and where it will stay. Round 1 goes 2 points to the side of ANU.
He waited way too long to use that Shatter. He had a clear Shatter on at least Rule Would Love in the back line and just never used it. If he had done that so much sooner, you could have seen so much pressure alleviated for the side of ANU. But instead, Ambition just kind of Ambition Rapture just kind of walk forward, and they get on to ANU before anything happens, and then he tries to use the Shatter, but gets shattered out of his own Shatter. It's just, honestly, I hate to say it like this, but it's been a massive Reinhardt gap for the side of Raiden right now, and I think that they need to start moving away from the Reinhardt. In fact, they're not going to, but they do add a Sigma to the mix.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that might be quite beneficial for them. I think Double Shield is always forgiving. But the question is, are they going to get outmaneuvered by Rapture? I'm not sure. I think Rapture... I think they'll be okay. I think Rapture move a little bit faster than ANU, but I also think ANU are certainly no slouches when it comes to the competition. Look, 13 seconds till the gates open. I think this initial attack or defense, depending on which side we're talking about, of course, is going to be the... It's going to spell it out for the rest of this map, I think. If this gets... You know, if they're able to hold this for a while, then I think that might be indicative of the way the rest of the game will go. But they might take it right here and right now, Harry, as we start our first fight.
Yeah, they might. That's a good buy strike coming up from Cerner. They build up a lot of ult charge from that, but this is a really good rotation from the side of Ambition Rapture, and they walk forward. Mitsua gets taken down a little bit overextended, and Rule with Love taken down as well. Both supports down, so Raiden now trying to get a surprise pin. Lazy Turtle has just absolutely shredded the side of Ambition Rapture. That's some good play from the Hanzo of ANU, and that will be the first fight comfortably won.
Yeah, the defense very, very strong there. Although don't forget that there is a defense still behind you guys. You might want to get
Myth right
them.
Oh, yeah. Goodbye, Myth. Myth is going to get staggered out here.
That's really unfortunate. No, they do, I think, see that the teams, the rest of the team is going to be pretty close to the choke at this point, so they don't let that sit for too long. But that's already a good stagger. Myth trying to run away from that fight does leave them, lagging behind quite a lot. Back with the team now, so we're going to have a far left rotation if we're thinking about...
This is a better rotation.
Team. Yeah.
This is a much better rotation. They should be able to get to point here. And if they can get to point, they cause so much damage. But Myth got walked in and caught out behind without it. Now they're trying to rotate back onto Ocean Depth and actually find the kill onto Ocean Depth, but they traded out for Rule with Love. Now it's going to be Cerner in the back, getting a shadow onto Raiden, finally asserting a little bit of dominance. And Cerner has picked up 4 in this fight. Great play from the Reinhardt. And despite what I think was a better rotation from Ambition Rapture, Myth getting caught out meant that this fight was just lost immediately.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that rotation. That involved walking towards and then back out of and then towards the line of damage again, and it kind of just lost valuable seconds in which a Sigma was able to roll around behind the team. They're going to try it again, though, so maybe defense has less of a chance here, or maybe this is another roll through to point where they aren't able to take this. Oh, that good Flux finds 5 and everyone gets picked up. Shadowlands doesn't find anyone. Cernow stunned right now. It's not going to make a big difference though. Myth out of this fight, out of mech. Gian stuck in the corner. It is going to be a quick cleanup. And again, ANU reset control.
Yeah, and now they have a ton of ultimates as well. Ocean Depths has that amplification matrix that they'll probably use on the high ground when the rotation comes. Raiden actually making the swap over to the Wrecking Ball. Mitsua going to the Brigitte. Rule with Love is sticking on the Baptiste. I don't know if I agree with that decision per se. Raiden just rolling over to the point. Don't mind the ball. He's there.
Like no one's noticed.
Yeah, I don't really know what you do with this composition if you are the side of Ambition Rapture. Are you going to try and dislodge them from the high ground? If so, how are you going to secure the kills? It's an odd comp.
I'd like to say you just have to roll through to point, but that's not what they're doing each time. And each time they do, they just see Ambition Rapture rotate around. ANU rotate around, and Ambition Rapture are trying to make that fight into a dropper. Look, there's that window getting used. It finds again another Myth out of the fight, and heals are pretty low for the side of Ambition Rapture.
Yeah, Raiden using the pile driver on the high ground gets taken down by Artie Marcus, and despite the amplification matrix, it's going to be a tactical bias from Artie Marcus being used. Grabs on blocks, not finding anything. Mitsua finding their way out using the shield bash, but 30 seconds left and the fight has been cleaned up. How do you come back into this if you're Rapture? This is going to be really difficult for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Ambition Rapture are just struggling to get into control here, and ANU looks so strong in the high ground. It's very, very possible that they could take this in the last second, but right now, as it looks, I don't know if they're going to be able to solidify these kills before ANU tear them apart again.
Yeah, well, there's the Dragon Strike. He gets eaten again. Myth has been on fire on the eat, but unfortunately it's just kind of fed a little bit. It's going to be self-destruct. Launch over the top. Finds Lazy Turtle. And Gian using the Death Blossom finds Ocean Depth's Immortality Field, and Mitsua takes down Ocean Depth. Now it's Artie Marcus falling, but Pobotron is still there, taking down Rule with Love. Immortality Field is down, and Jellius on the Tracer. It's going to be the sound barrier being used now from DJ Guff. It's so difficult. Raiden and Myth both get shattered. It's Cerner standing up, being the hero after being kind of dominated on the Reinhardt mirror match. He's come back with a vengeance here. Cerner falling very low. Raiden gets taken down though by Lazy Turtle. Bobbytron takes down Jellius. Myth takes down Cerner finally, but Myth gets taken down by Ocean Depth. Now it's going to be a recontest here from the Cassidy on the side of Rapture, but it will not matter. They will eventually fall, even with Raw with Love and Mitsua there. Eventually they will stagger themselves out, and a full hold coming from ANU means that this goes to 1-1.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Now we get to reset the slate a little bit and look at things from the point of view of Escort and Hybrid with a, well, I say a clean slate. We have 1-1 on the board, but it is essentially back to 0. We both teams need the same number of points to get through this, so it is even playing field. What a play of the game we see as we watch the rest of this. Look, ANU have certainly proven themselves after how well things went for Rapture to begin with. I'd like to suggest that Rapture can bring it back around for map 3, but I don't know. I think ANU have certainly woken up a little bit now. So, look, let's see what happens in game number 3. It's going to be super, super interesting from here as things play out and as we maybe change up compositions a little bit. And, you know, we're about to find out what map 3 is. The choice is coming through very, very shortly, and we may or may not be getting a quick sub for the one player that needed to quickly fill in the roster there, and indeed they get subbed in. So we have a Sledgy moving into the side of Rapture. What do you reckon? Map hasn't been picked yet, Harry, so what's your thoughts, first thing on the top of your head, for map number 3?
I think you need to try and stick with a brawl composition if you're Rapture.
Yeah.
They looked a little bit disorganized on that Wrecking Ball composition there. Didn't seem like they really wanted to, and Havana is the perfect map for them to play the brawl comp. They can try and spawn camp if they want to and get some of that time off. ANU need to stick to that Sigma, though. I think it provided so much assistance and so much extra spam damage before the fight started for Cerner to not feel as pressured in those fights. And really that kind of falls to Myth to try and mitigate that damage for Raiden. But it came down to rotations and who was better at rotations and stopping those rotations. And in the end, ANU just proved that they were better at making the rotations in a much more efficient way.
Yeah, exactly. I think those rotations are the key to the entirety of that game, and it looks like we might be rolling on Havana. So this is, if anything, equal if not more about rotations. Yeah, we saw a lot of ANU rolling through and quickly making a rotation around what wasn't working, and their defense obviously rotating on the spot to look at where Rapture are going and shoot them all. But yeah, those rotations to either side of the map are a really good way to make sure that you keep them on their toes and, yeah, mitigate damage coming in. Enable you to get lines of sights and find picks. That's the key to getting to winning a point like that, especially a first point that is always sort of not in your favor as the offensive team. We're going to roll into Havana and we're about to get started. So, look, yeah, I would agree with you, I think, is my summary.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Havana. Really, I don't know how I feel about ANU's chances on Havana if they get spawn camped, is what I meant to say there. I think if you get spawn camped by a team, there isn't as much room for rotations apart from what door are you going to go out for your next fight. Are you going to go out right, middle, or left? Either way, you can... It's not about really meeting the rotations as much, because eventually they're going to have to come to cart to fight anyway. They need to get some of that progress on the cart. And I mean, they've swapped over. They've stuck on the Sigma. Sorry. And with Sledgy coming in, it looks like they're going to play a bit more of the Cassidy here with the Reaper rather than playing the May. I think that's an interesting choice. I think that means that they're going to just try and speed boost in and go all gung-ho on them. It's going to be interesting is the best way to put it. I think Bobotron needs to take an off angle and try and put as much spam damage in. Maybe get an early pick if possible.
Yeah, absolutely. The spawn hold is going to be the difference maker. It's the key to Havana, and yeah, we can see exactly what's going to happen here. They roll out at 3 seconds, and initial fight gets taken right to the front door.
Yeah, I mean, they kissed the spawn door straight away. Good rock coming out from the side of Bobatron. He has so much HP because of that kinetic grasp, and they've gone over to the left, and Raiden stunned up, taken down immediately, and that's going to be the spawn hole just immediately falling to pieces. RT Marcus takes down Rule with Love. GN gets taken down by Lazy Turtle. The DPS have shown up for the side of ANU today.
Yeah, they are awake now, and ANU looking so strong. I think that's the quickest I've seen the spawn camp hold fall apart on Havana for a while. As a matter of fact, it usually lasts at least for a minute or two. It's a full reset, though, and Ambition Rapture are going to have to roll at this now from the point of view of stopping 0.1 cap rather than controlling the timer.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Raiden, despite dying first, has built up way more ult charge than Cerner, but it's going to be Ocean Depths using that amplification matrix built up so quickly because they took so much damage trying to leave the room. Good rotation, though, coming from the side of Ambition Rapture, and Sledgy finds the pick on Lazy Turtle. Now they get onto the Reinhardt of Cerner, trying to do as much damage as possible, and there's the counter amplification matrix. The rotation needs to come in quickly. Ocean Depths and DJ Gup are still there. Huge shutter coming out from the side of Cerner, though, and with the Graviton Flux, this fight is over. Raiden falls. It's going to be Myth falling as well, and finally, they will continue this fight and continue the progress going forward. They did get 2.5 minutes off the clock, though.
Yeah, that's a really good way to buy some time back, but unfortunately it doesn't quite win what you need, and that's the entire fight control of the cart. Look, teams should be able to roll back here, though. They have enough time to get back on cart before it gets to the end, so maybe they can keep this up. Just keep chipping away time until we get to the end.
Yeah, it's a sound barrier engaged, but they're so far away, the sound barrier is going to wear off before they even get close to them. Raiden has the Earth Shatter, uses it, gets onto Bobatron. It's going to be a high noon coming up from Lazy Turtle. Myth trying to get the eat on it, but with the defense matrix being used up, it's going to actually be Sledgy on the other side, who finds two with the high noon, but with an RT Marcus using the Death Blossom there, they'll find Myth and Sledgy. It seems like this fight is just going back and forth. It looks like it's going in one direction, then the other direction. RT Marcus gets taken down by Mitsua. Lazy Turtle got found by Raiden earlier in the fight, and it's just going to be Bobatron and DJ Gup. It's going to be a charge from Raiden that just goes kind of underneath DJ in the end, and it will be the fight win for Rapture. 1.5 minutes left. DJ Gup has the sound barrier, though.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about before. This is that control they need to flip back, so they're back in defense rather than back into just trying to buy as much time as they can. Here we should be able to control the distance and whether or not ANU can even get back on cart at all. We see that window getting used to try and do that.
Yeah, double amplification matrix. It looked like there was going to be an attempt for an Earth Shatter. In fact, there is. Cerner finds Raiden. It's going to be Graviton Flux again being used. Myth gets taken down, and the car is just being contested. They will eventually be able to get there, and they should be able to cap point one. They have all their members on cart this time, not making the same mistake as their first push in. In fact, they will not only capture point one, but they will get the respawn split. No, they won't. They just don't get the respawn split. But it will be an early hold attempt here from from Rapture, sorry.
Yeah, that would have been a good way to make sure that they can take this fight early with an advantage, but it's not going to pay off, and now we can see Ambition Rapture rolling onto the high ground for a quick early defense. This might work really well, especially prior to Cart rolling all the way underneath the archway here, although they're actually going to rotate back, drop off the high ground, try and control Cart. It's a weird sandwich going on right now, Harry.
Oh, what a shatter! This is such an interesting fight because Sledgy went down immediately thanks to a good pick from Lazy Turtle. So it looked like it might be a disaster, but a great shatter from Raiden after just kind of pinning to the point and not really doing anything with it. And GN with a Death Blossom means that the fight ends and the doors haven't even closed yet. So it's such an interesting fight seeing some of these. It's such an interesting time seeing some of these rotations, and interesting is going to be the word of the day for us here.
Yeah, I think so. I'm a big fan of seeing this early defense. I hate when the cart seems to always get kind of thrown all the way to right before the next point before anyone really does anything about it. I think this is super strong. The problem is it's not something Rapture can keep up forever.
Yeah, it's a straight fire strike that finds Rule with Love, and it isn't something they're going to be able to keep up forever because they're going to lose on this fight instead. Cerno taking out Raiden as well. Amplification Matrix being used to secure the fire. Sledgy taking out RT Marcus means that they can't really just walk forward, and Cernu as well gets taken down by Gian, who's just in the back line. Gets taken down before he can teleport out, and Sledgy, he's just going to run away. Oh my god, what a rock from downtown!
Strong rock right there. Yeah, absolutely. And now we see that amount of spawn time is what I was talking about before, Harry, where that time to rotate back buys way more time for ANU to push this card forward. Now, there are some ultimates getting committed in, Sledgy through that window doing a lot, but there's the reverse High Noon in an Immortality. It goes directly into a defense matrix, but it's not going to be the worst thing in the world. It's going to force both teams to be able to reset and look at each other.
What is Raiden doing? Raiden's just in the back line. Myth finds 3 with a self-destruct. Nah, this isn't a real game right now, Sdogga. I don't believe what I am seeing. Gian finishes off Sir No, and TJ Gupp is the only one on the side of ANU to get out. What did I just witness from Raiden? Raiden just walked to point, shattered no one, then walked into the back line, pinned into the back line, and Myth threw a self-destruct appeal for him. I don't know what's going on.
I think this must be an alternate timeline in the multiverse, Harry, where everything goes on the opposite way to what we expect, because... Whoa, there is some unusual stuff, and well, there you go.
Marcus is in the back.
There's being that in the back.
Yeah.
And dropping at the top there. Marcus finding 3, so that's a trade for the bomb previously. A little bit of karma right there, and the problem is that's going to commit the cart to almost all the way to point 2.
Yeah, I mean, that, again, a really weird fight came out there because it looked like Ambition Rapture made the right decision. They got aggressive when they realized that the Reaper was flanking around, so they didn't really have the damage up front, but it was just an ult advantage. That's Ocean Depth, so on the high ground, using the Amplification Matrix, and Raiden with a shot finds 4! Again! It's just such dominance from Raiden on the line. High Noon, though, from Lazy Turtle, picks up Mitsuru, and Sledgy, despite trying to flank, can't finish off the Cassidy on the side of ANU, and it's just a shooting gallery for the side of ANU as they continue to mow down Ambition Rapture, and they go into 3rd point.
I guess intentional or otherwise, Harry, that might be part of the justification for Raiden doing what he did before that you were talking about, where he was flanking around the place and so on. He's been charging Shatter so much and so consistently that they can kind of really use it every single fight pretty reliably here. So maybe that helps justify some odd activities on the sides there.
A double shield sighting. Great rock from the side of Bobatron, who rocked from point to get onto Myth, the Sigma of the side of Rapture. Immortality Field has been forced out early. This is a really interesting swap straight away, and in fact, it pays dividends as Sledgy finds Ocean Depths with a headshot right there. Cernu builds up the Earth Shatter, so close to it. He can get a big one if he's allowed to get into the position that he needs to get into. Fire Strike means the Earth Shatter's there. Shatters into a shield, though. It only finds Myth, and Cernu goes down very, very quickly. It's going to be the Wraith Bomb being invested, but Bobatron goes down using the Graviton Flux. Myth walks forward, trying to gain some of that space, finds RT Marcus, and that's just going to be the fight win. Straight in favor of Ambition Rapture. Only 17 seconds left. Bobatron has swapped over to the Wrecking Ball to try and get the touch.
Yeah, that's the right strategy here, but is it too little too late? I don't know. I'm looking for Gian to use those dragons. I'm looking for Rule with Love to put that window down and really block off lines of sight. Ocean Depth trying to do that on the side, but the dragons pretty much blocks all of that off, and they are on carpet for how long?
Oh, great play. RT Marcus is in the back. He found 3. It's going to be a Graviton Flux, though. Should be able to close this one out. Bobatron and DJ Gupp, the only ones left. DJ Gupp gets rocked and taken down. Bobatron was taken down by Sledgy, and the ult advantage proves too much despite a heroic effort from RT Marcus. Don't get to 3rd point, but that's what we saw in the last map. They're still in with a chance, ANU.
Yeah, ANU can come back on this, but I have the feeling that Rapture maybe are starting to get their make and measure a little bit now, and that's not a good sign for ANU. Rapture, I think, were pretty divisive initially, and they certainly showed us that they once they get the idea, they know well how to continue the fight and keep things going pretty strongly. I think that's what they're going to do here too. They've got as I said, they've got the make and measure of ANU, and that's going to take them apart a little bit. The trade-off is ANU need to now flip things up, come up with a different composition, and roll out on something they are not expecting. And look, maybe Sigma Reinhardt is that.
Are you the prophet?
Are
you the prophet, Sdogga? Because there's something that I wasn't expecting. It's the Ball Sigma composition with a Pharah and a Widowmaker from the side of Ambition Rapture.
I'll take
bow down to Sdogga.
Yes, do so. I am your god. I'm not. I'm hardly anywhere near it. But I will be your
This is weird.
co-host.
This
Yeah,
is
this is
weird.
strange.
They've just exposed themselves. They're just like, yeah, we're here. What are you going to do about it? This is strange positioning from the side of ANU, and maybe they just don't want anyone to rotate on this left side like they're expecting them to. In fact, it might be the Widowmaker. Oh, yeah, no, they don't get caught out. That's good scouting from the side of the Widowmaker. Stun on to the Wrecking Ball of Raiden, but GN is going to be raining hell from above right now, going on those roofs. It's really difficult for Lazy Turtle by themselves to deal with it, but Myth gets taken down by Cerner AU, sorry. And Sledgy's been able to find a pick. Raiden trying to find any value with his Wrecking Ball Pile Driver. This is such a slow fight. It goes in favor at the moment of ANU. It's going to be another stun onto Raiden. Raiden very, very low. It's going to be a pin across the map from Cerner, and it's going to be a anti-nade, not really hitting onto them in the end. Raiden falls. I mean, this fight is just going to take so long because they're just waiting for a pick.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I mean, that is how initial defense seems to roll here, but the lack of picks on either side for the start of Havana is very strange. It's really just been a lot of people kind of poking at each other, and there hasn't really been any movement in either direction. So I guess you could call that a successful spawn camp.
Yeah, the barrage is coming up on the side of Ambition Rapture, so eventually they will get the kill as Bobotron falls very, very low, but it's going to be an Amplification Matrix and a Shatter. GN has found two, though, so that is the start that they needed. Bobotron and Lazy Turtle both falling. It is great for the side of Ambition Rapture because it means eventually they will now finally get Ocean Depths, gets taken down by Sledgy, finally finding a pick, and it's going to be the barrage invested, taking down Cerner. Yeah, there's no space left for the side of ANU to stay here. It's going to be a shadow step out from RT Marcus. And are using the Wraith form, maybe able to get out. Has Raiden overextended a little bit? Yes, I think he has.
So close. Yeah. Yeah, I think Raiden chasing that into a Reaper when the team was respawning might have been a little bit of an overcalculation, but you know what? We'll take it because getting that extra stagger would have been super beneficial. Now, we're basically back to a 6v6. Oh, the Reaper on the high ground nearly finding three, finds one, but two people low for the side of ANU. Oh, sorry, Ambition Rapture. ANU now controlling this push very hard, and Raiden just trying to do their best to be the most annoying, disruptive character in the game.
Yeah, they do find Bobotron, though, so it's really ANU are really unable to continue gaining that space, and Myth has the Flux, which he uses immediately, gets onto both supports. No Mortality Field is there, but Mitsua gets taken down by Lazy Turtle using a High Noon from the high ground. Now they're going to try and walk forward with this here. It's such an interesting fight because ANU are playing slow. That's not the optimal type of tempo that you want to play against this competition. It's a good sleep onto DJ Gup, who has the sound barrier. It's a nano boost onto Raiden. DJ Gup is so low. Big anti-nade coming in. DJ Gup falls. So does Lazy Turtle. Great grapple through everyone. Raiden is there. Myth gets picked up by the Graviton Flux, and so does Raiden. Both tanks fall. So it's going to be Raw with Love there, as long with Mitsua and Gion against RT Marcus and Bobotron. Bobotron very, very low. He's going to get taken down. Mitsua pulling out the Glock and saying, you know what, nah, I'll do it myself.
Yeah, I think we might see point cap here, but it's certainly looking like a strong game for Ambition Rapture. And I would be surprised if we see this go all of the way. Look at that beat, though, coming into this fight. That's really beneficial, and Myth is going to do a lot of damage onto Sir now. That's a barrage, but it doesn't find anything. He gets stunned out. Now Raiden gonna have to use those mines really quickly if he wants to get anything done. I don't know if he's going to be able to. It's going to be the end of it, I think. And yeah, Raiden's actually going to reset and go way back into the background.
This is really, really bad for the side of Ambition Rapture because they've just had to make wholesale swaps on the DPS composition. They have the Hanzo, they have the Soldier now. Myth has the Flux. It's going to be a minefield. If someone touched, yeah, it's Raiden who touches, but it's going to be a Death Blossom in the back onto GN. GN gets taken down. It's a good minefield, though. DJ Gup falls without any ultimates there. It seems like eventually ANU will fall. Raiden does get taken down by Lazy Turtle, but a good sleep with the high nooning Lazy Turtle from the side of Rule with Love means that they will cap this point. It is not another full hold. They can still do this.
Yeah, this is good. This is exactly what you need right here, right now. Ambition Rapture, need to control this card now very, very strongly going forwards. They don't want to drop a fight too heavily here. Otherwise, they will have to deal with ANU's strong defense again. What they need to do is instead find a couple picks and keep this going slowly forward so that they can control card. Beyond this, it is just a matter of fighting through point 3 that is not even all the way there. Fight on the high ground now, Harry.
Yeah, 5 on the high ground, and that's an amplification matrix, as well as a pin. It was booped off the high ground, and then booped back on the high ground by the Lucio. Now it's an anti-nade onto the Reinhardt here, and Cerner goes down. GN finds that kill. Ocean Depths did find Sledgy. It's going to be trying to clean this up as hard as they can. Good rock from the side. What a rock indeed. It's going to be Bobatron clutching it up and taking down Myth, or helping with taking down Myth. Artie Marcus getting the final blow, and now it's a Lucio fighting a Sigma on the point in a 1v1. Bobatron just looks over to the right, flicks over, kills Raiden, and Mitsuru is still on the point by himself, just trying to stall it out as much as he can, but eventually it will be ANU with the fight win. Sledgy getting a late pick though.
Yeah, so here's the problem. Now that this is in the control of ANU solidly, Ambition Rapture have to roll into a difficult fight here. If ANU control the high ground, or if they use a couple ultimates to deny space, it's going to be very difficult for Ambition Rapture to rock their way in, especially with the ranged characters like Reinhardt, or ranged as in short range, or long range as in GN and Sledgy. They don't have a lot of immediate breaking in power.
A lot of breaking in power. It's going to be the Graviton Flux and the High Noon being used, not really finding any kills though. Immortality Field was used on Lazy Turtle, and Myth gets demech by the High Noon. Actually, Artie Marcus is found 2 in the back line. Lazy Turtle finds Raiden, and it is going to be another team fight win for ANU.
Yeah, and that's the Struggle Town situation that I was describing. Breaking your way in through ultimate abilities like that and through a solid defense across the high ground is always going to be tough, but we're looking at Rapture going up against the clock and with a tricky set of heroes. Now, maybe they break in this time. I'm not sure. 5 seconds on the clock, Harry. This is last fight.
Yeah, it is last fight, and it's going to be a sound barrier being used, but not in time to save Myth. Myth going down there means that this fight could be over, as we see Artie Marcus flanking around the backline, finds 2, gets taken down, but the damage might have already been done. Raiden using the pin there, gets on to AU, but it doesn't look like it's going to matter. Mitsuru is the only person left on the card. It's Sledgy as well. Sledgy gets rocked out of existence, and that is going to be ANU taking map 3. And 2-1 up now. Ambition Rapture, they need to Rapture, sorry. Keep finding ways to lose maps that they look like they should be winning after pretty good defenses.
I really wanted to give that to Rapture, but ANU just showing real strength throughout that one, and I've got to hand it to them. It was pretty well under their control for the majority of that time, and look, yeah, really well played to them. I think Havana was very decisive for them. And now we really are going to roll into the map 3 that I mentioned prior, with a different score on the board. 2-1.
Yeah. What do you go to here if you are the side of Rapture? I mean, you've looked good on the broad composition, but I think they keep getting trapped into playing what is meta on a certain map, or trying to play almost off meta, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, we see them play the Wrecking Ball composition, and they wasted so much time with it. I don't think it really is worth playing those types of compositions if you're not 100% sure that you're going to win a fight. You wasted 3.5 minutes playing the Wrecking Ball composition when you could have just played the Reinhardt composition and probably gotten out in half the time. Yeah,
I think so. I think stubbornness to switch off is a really tricky one because, yeah, like you say, it's not immediately visible what the problem is, what's caused it, or why. But I think sometimes you've got to switch to counter what you know you could beat, but it would be easier to beat on a different composition. Look, we're rolling into Numbani now, and Numbani is very different from what we've seen so far. So this, if anything, should be a good way for Rapture to kind of wipe the slate clean, start again, and come at this afresh and go, all right, now what do we do?
Yeah, most definitely. ANU are looking incredible, though.
Yeah.
We haven't really seen a lot of different styles from them. I mean, maybe this is where we see the Winston. We said it in the last stream that we did, but Barney, Reinhardt, they don't go together. It's like bubblegum. It's like bubblegum and steak. You wouldn't put them together at all. So it's going to be interesting to see. Look, I had to think of something on the fly, and steak was the first thing that came to me. We're having beef sausages for dinner later.
I tell you what, I'll take it. I will take that. I'm fine with that. Bubblegum and steak.
Can you imagine trying to chew through a steak, a
We're gonna move
chewy
on.
steak with bubble
I
gum?
don't want to think
there?
about it. That puts some not very nice textures in the mouth. Let's just say that.
But it's so chewy, Sdogga.
Oh, speaking of bad textures, I am completely fine with the texture of both of these teams, to be honest. I wanted to say something controversial, but there's nothing to say here. We just have two double shield tanks. Two double shield tanks? Two shield tanks. They're making up double shield. And we have dive. What is unusual about this?
It's a Reinhardt on Numbani.
Okay, well, aside from
That's all I have to say about this composition. I mean,
you know what is weird about this? It's dive on defense and not offense, which is...
I think it's more the access to high ground. You can drop off low ground and then jump back onto the high ground. I think if you are the side of ANU, you've got to rotate underneath and try and get to point and force everyone to point, which is exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, for sure. I would hazard a guess that dive works really well for offense here, but maybe this is the trick.
Oh, Gen Problem. Yeah, Gen Problem gets a little bit over eager to get to point and gets taken down. Gian takes down Bobatron. Raiden is very far out there, gets taken down by Lazy Turtle, and it will eventually be a fight win in the favor of Rapture. But, I mean, that was just... that was weird. That was weird from Gen Problem right there. Just getting a little bit over eager to get to point. And in fact, could go down again. Second time in a minute. Yeah, there goes Gen Problem. Cerner AU also fell towards the back end of that fight.
You know what? I am totally fine with taking an unconventional first fight just to see where the enemy is and what they're running, but again, I feel like they started on a slightly odd composition here. I don't know if the double shield attack generally is advised for Numbani. Might work out well. Sledgy, though, is definitely advised for this.
Yeah, I mean, Sledgy just equipped with the rifle takes the head off of Ocean Depths, and Ocean Depths has actually just made the swap over to the Moira, and I like that swap. I think that's a good swap. You can fade out of the danger of the dive, you can fade out of the danger of the Moira, but now it's about how they rotate.
Yeah, that rotation is key, and I like this. I like this outside rotation. They're going to roll up into high ground. I thought they were going to go all the way around. They are not, but I'm fine with high ground. High ground should take a bit of the advantage away.
Well, about that high ground advantage right there, Bobatron just taken out immediately. Good recognition from the side of Rapture right there. They take down Bobatron, and they're not going to chase. That's crucial for them, because if they get trapped in that room with the Reaper, it's just going to be absolute chaos. Bobatron swapping over to that Zarya now, but it doesn't look like they really know what to do here.
Yeah, I struggle to see exactly what the plan is apart from walk on high ground and walk on low ground and hope we pick something, but that's not the way dive defense works here. You maneuver around a lot, stay very split, and jump onto wherever the opponent goes. I just don't know how I feel about this. This is a long rotation too.
It's a great copy though, and they get the Earth Shatter onto 3. Bobatron gets taken down thanks to a helpful aid from the side of Rule with Love, and a good sleep means that Gian, despite being taken out of the copy, is going to be able to get out of there. Finding RT Marcus is Sledgy. Mitsua found Ocean Depth, and that is going to be another fight win for the side of Rapture. A minute 30 left on the clock right now, and Sledgy is just popping off. Has Bob ready, and Raiden will build up that Primal Rage and Nano Boost.
Yeah, exactly. It's looking tougher and tougher the more this game plays on to see just how ANU are going to grab this point. But it's very possible. They just need to roll in here and find a couple key picks. They need to knock Sledgy out of this fight. They need to take out at least one tank to make sure that they can control point while also losing players. At the moment, it just doesn't feel like they're quite rolling out.
Oh no.
Correctly.
No!
Yeah.
Cerner's made the swap over to the Roadhog, and I don't know what to think about that. That's a big anti-nade right there. Forces out the sound barrier very early. Big Primal! Takes down Lazy Tunnel and Ocean Depth towards using the Coalescence. It's going to be the Nano Boost as well, invested onto the Primal Raging Raiden. But RT Marcus falls as well. He's going after the Roadhog. Cerner actually just decides, no, I'm going to take myself off the map, and so does Bobatron. 36 seconds left on the clock. Massive plays coming out from the side of Rapture, and this is looking like a full hold is about to happen. Bobatron finally swapping over to the Winston. Cerner is very... It's like every hog one trick in my ranked game, staying on the Roadhog despite it being an awful map for it.
I really want to call this as an as an Ambition Rapture full hold, but I suppose it is possible that ANU do roll onto this right here.
You're relying on a pick.
But
And Carolina are picking, you find it. Forward Love goes down to Ocean Depths. There's going to be a Death Blossom coming in as well from RT Marcus. They're going to be able to turn something out of nothing. Bob comes in, Myth with the self-destruct, finds Bobatron, almost takes down Sonu. It forces out the E though. The heal has gone. Myth has found RT Marcus as well, and they take down Sonu as well. Ocean Depth, despite getting the first pick, it seems like his efforts may have gone to waste. Lazy Turtle goes down. It's just going to be Ocean Depth on the point. They need to take down the Zenyatta. He takes out Gian, but eventually he will fall, and that will be the fight win and the full hold to Rapture. It was a bit scary at a little stage for that, though.
Wow, what a hold there. It almost looked like that was going to go over to ANU, but the full hold comes through, and I don't know if I don't want to jinx it or if I do want to jinx it, but we could see a Ambition Rapture win here, and evening the score up to 2-2 and going all the way. And like I said, I don't know if I want that to be a jinx or not, because I think it would be great to see ANU take it here and now. But also, these matches are super fun to watch, and going all the way here would make, well, I think it would make a lot of people quite happy.
I think it would make a lot of people quite happy as well. I mean, we see the Sigma and the... Stop playing Roadhog teams, please. This is going to be my little mini rant of the series, but Roadhog is objectively the worst off-tank in the game. You do not need to play it, especially on Numbani. Stop it. You're hurting everyone by doing this. Anyway, into the actual analysis of it. I mean, this composition, it doesn't work, but, I mean, we saw the unconventional composition actually pay a little bit of dividends and give Rapture quite a bit of a scare on their defense. So maybe Ocean Depths on the Zenyatta is the key for them here.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Zen has been very strong for Ocean Depths, and they got to keep running what's working well, and I think that's what ANU are starting to flow into. They're starting to just give into what they feel good on. Maybe that's the difference maker.
Yeah, maybe it is, but this is a good little proxy dive. They're taking the high ground off them immediately. Sledgy goes down to Ocean Depths, though, but RT Marcus falls. Great anti-nade onto Gen Problem, which means Gen Problem is down. They get back onto the high ground. Ocean Depths is going to fall to Mitsua, of all people. Bobatron misses the rock onto Raiden, which means eventually Rez onto Gian, but the Mercy is taken down. Lazy Turtle is down. Bobatron will fall eventually, and it's just going to be Cerner AU left on the point, using the heal. One tick is all that's needed for the side of Ambition Rapture, though, and eventually they will get there. It's just going to be RT Marcus coming back on the legs. The emergency legs comes out, but to no avail. They cannot full hold the team, and Rapture will take the map win. 2-2, we're going to map 5. It is the decider.
Bullied off point completely there. That's... Yeah, look, I'm fine with this. I think going all the way is something I've been waiting to see all night. I'm down for it. ANU and Rapture are two really closely spaced teams, and they have very different playstyles, very different modus operandi, if you will. And I think, what better two teams to watch go all the way than these two? I'm a big fan of this.
Most definitely. You see a little cameo from my girlfriend there, who was not aware of the situation with the camera. It is fine now. But yeah, we see the 2-2 coming up there. I mean, it was just great play coming out from the side of Rapture. Choosing the right compositions is the key, realistically, and seeing the Roadhog coming out from the side of ANU is nah. If you've seen my Twitter at any time, you would know the deep hatred that I have for Roadhog and anyone who plays it.
Yep, absolutely. Roadhog. No one tell Harry that I like to play Roadhog sometimes. Roadhog sucks. I don't think anyone should ever play Roadhog, especially not on Numbani. And I don't think... Look, in all honesty, Roadhog generally never fits in a composition, although there have been specific times throughout the history of Overwatch. There's never really been a big moment where Roadhog shines, and I don't know that Roadhog was ever going to do a huge amount for either attacking or defending Numbani. I think it was very ambitious. Rapture. I didn't want to make that joke.
You were trying to make a pun, but the link didn't work.
It really didn't. I think it was very ambitious of them because I don't know what they were going to use it on. Maybe Echo or Soldier, but both of those are pretty evasive characters.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to burn down a tank without extra backup. So, look, unless they run Roadhog here, we can go ahead and throw that one in the bin and maybe look at something a bit more conventional on Ilios.
Yeah, and I mean, look at this. Straight away, they see the Sigma, they go the Rhine, they go the Cassidy, they go onto the Reaper, but they have Ocean Depths on the Zenyatta. Are they going to stick with that? I have no clue. It's going to be really interesting to see what they do. In fact, Gion has swapped over to the Sim, probably just to TP his team out of their team out of spawn.
Yeah, I really hope that's all it is, but Sim is always very impactful in close range situations like this, and it might pay off. Here's that initial rollout, though. We do switch back, so it is a bit more of a standard. Cassidy Reaper or May Reaper both work super well on Ilios, so this should be pretty much just a DPS difference with a couple of extra benefits on the side. Early fight advantage appears to be going over to Ambition Rapture, purely from the point of view of who's on point, but no one dropped yet, Harry.
No, but Immortality Field has been forced out from the side of ANU, and they are playing Ocean Depths on the Zen. He finds Mitsua. That is a great first pick, and Raiden will fall as well. The Discord was just putting so much pressure on them. Sledgy finds Cernu, though. Cernu, sorry. So it could still be a chance, but no. With Sledgy going down, they did get first point capture. They have built up a bit of percentage. So that is a little bit of a mistake coming in from the side of ANU, as everyone just kind of feeds on the point to keep the percentage ticking around 20%. That's pretty good for Ambition Rapture, but now they have to come in and try and win this fight decisively before Ocean Depths gets the Transcendence.
Yeah, absolutely, and they'll certainly take it, but I think Ambition Rapture have the chance to rock this one back, especially as those ultimates come online. Keep an eye on Sledgy and Raiden, I think, here to land some decent combos. ANU not quite charged yet, although I am looking for that Transcendence to help negate any damage and CC. So keep a close eye on Ocean Depth, also landing those headshots very, very well.
Yeah, we see the Blizzard coming out. That's a good May wall. It's an Immortality Field. Doesn't really catch on to anything, and that's good. They need to play fast if you are the side of Ambition Rapture. High Noon not finding anything. It's going to be a flashbang. Fan the Hammer doesn't exactly kill the May there, though. The Sledgy will eventually fall to Lazy Turtle. They've rotated around, but they've taken way too long to really get any kills. And now it's a Transcendence from Ocean Depths. They do have the Amplification Matrix as well, with the Barrier of Raiden going down. Lazy Turtle finds Gian, and that is going to be another fight win. But ANU, they built up past 50% here. They're so close to winning this first round if they can just continue to cycle their ultimates correctly.
Yeah, absolutely. 50% plus already on the board for ANU, so this is an early win if they are lucky, as long as they continue to hold. And like you said, keep an eye on all these ultimates that are online. Cernu is now charged up on the Shatter. We have Artie Marcus, who has been landing the fattiest of fatty Beyblades from Reaper. And of course, yeah, we've got Window from Gen Problem too, so this should really work out well, just as long as they stay grouped and don't drop to anyone else here.
Well, Sledgy fell, so they're not really grouped up right now. That's an Earthshatter attempt coming in. Good block from Raiden, though. And an Earthshatter coming in again. It was kind of blocked by a combination of Cernu and of Myth. But, I mean, RT Mark is in the back line. Uses the Death Blossom. The beat is way too late. It doesn't really matter. Sledgy finds Gen Problem. Mitsua goes down. It's just Sledgy. Sledgy falls, and that is round one going to ANU. It seems like, at this current moment, Ambition Rapture are going out with a whimper instead of a bang.
Yeah, and that's really unfortunate because we know that Rapture have what it takes to bring this to ANU, but ANU are the ones in control right here. And I feel like I said before, they are awake and ready at this point in time. They, well, look, they've got the measure of Rapture, and I don't know, maybe the difference maker here is just that ANU are switching up compositions and going with what's a little bit less normal on a map, as opposed to Rapture rolling through with, you know, pretty well what's stock standard and tried and true. Again, we see dive here from Ambition Rapture when there's no switch coming through for ANU yet. So again, maybe that is the difference maker.
Yeah, it's just so weird because they were taking such long flanks to rotations that it was just allowing Ocean Depths to just discord whoever, put pressure on whoever. This is a good swap up to the dive composition. I like this. It means that they can take the high ground off of Ocean Depths, and that's what Raiden's done immediately. They've done so much damage. Lazy Turtle falls immediately. Great anti-nade onto the Sigma right there. It's so close to dying. Myth is so close to being D-Mech. Myth gets D-Mech. Ocean Depths finds Gian, and that is going to be the fight win going in favor of ANU unless Sledgy can pull out some legendary plays. Gen Problem actually goes down to Mitsua. We thought the fight might have been lost there, but that's a big pick, although Sledgy going down is an even bigger late pick for the side of ANU. And with the point flipped over in their favor, yeah, it's time to back out and reset a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is what we saw prior. ANU take the first advantage into a fight like this, especially going dive into double shield. It's a slight advantage, and as soon as they flip point, that's kind of it. This is where Rapture are struggling to retake.
Yeah, and Myth is just in. They take down RT Marcus immediately, but Raiden falls to Gen Problem. That is just an issue for the tanks. They've been overextending just a little bit right there. It's going to be Gian in the back line trying to help take down Lazy Turtle, and they do. Mitsua gets a better of Ocean Depth, the Zen on Zen violence right there, and they're trying to move over towards point now. They don't have their tank to try and engage in it. Neither tank is there. It's going to be the barrier going down, so they're just spamming down. They're spamming damage, and it's going to be a nano boost onto the Winston. Now they're going to walk through, and they'll claim the point eventually. Mitsua finds Bobatron. GM found Gem Problem, and RT Marcus, who just got back into the fight, was found by Sledgy. 51%, but now it is going to be Ambition Rapture opening their account on the point.
Finally, there is the flip that we were missing last game. That control flip over to Ambition Rapture. Now we should see a much stronger defense from what we expected on a previous composition. Now,
Good Dragon Strike.
Yeah, fantastic.
Great Dragon Strike. Forces out the Transcendence, and they boot Bobatron down. That's a great boot coming up from the side of Myth. They're trying to move forward. It's going to be an Earth Shadow, though. Catches onto two. Great Transcendence in return, though, from Mitsua. It's Gian going down, but a Primal Rage knocks Gen Problem off of the map right there. Lazy Turtle kind of caught out now. Dueling Myth. RT Marcus falls to Mitsua. Myth takes down Lazy Turtle, and the Primal Rage is all the way into spawn, taking down Ocean Depth. That is some great play from Raiden, and now they creep ever so close to the margin. It looked pretty big originally.
Yeah, absolutely. This is where Rapture, I think, can do quite well. Controlling this point and playing around ANU being forced to roll in and try and retake point. The difference that they needed right here.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a key difference right there for the side of ANU. They immediately take down Gian, and now it's a duel in the back against against Raiden right now with Ocean Depth. Self-destruct doesn't really find anything, but forces out the immortality field. Now it's going to be Raiden all the way back. Needs to get healed up. Had to use the bubble defensively for Mitsua and himself. It's going to be a point flip, but Ocean Depth is caught out in the back. Can't go on the Transcendence, but takes out Raiden in return. Mitsua gets taken down, and that's going to be a lost fight now for the side of Ambition Rapture. They have to reset before they stagger out any more kills because they lost point control.
Yeah, that's not ideal for Ambition Rapture at all, but ANU looking really strong here. They might be able to control this now that they're back in, well, control. Already up to 74% mirror for mirror right now, so it's just a matter of who can control this through to the end.
No. Myth gets demeched instantly. Rule with Love gets taken down by Ocean Depth. It's going to be Gen Problems getting taken down, but the Transcendence is still being held right now from the side of Ocean Depth. It's going to be Dragon Strike, which takes down Bobatron and forces out the Transcendence. That could be a terrible Transcendence in the end because there's really no one there left. It's Lazy Turtle. It's Lazy Turtle, Cernu, and that's it. Gian gets taken down to the copy, but Lazy Turtle's found Myth, and Ocean Depth, found Myth. Sledgy gets taken down. No one touches!
Oh no! Gian just got forced off point, and Raiden went to jump in and just missed that opening, and that was all she wrote. The difference maker right there, ANU on the slightly stronger close range brawly composition, just slightly outplaying that dive, and yeah, a well-earned victory, I think, going over to the side of ANU, and here you go, here's that 4 knockout ultimate. Yeah, well done, RT Marcus. Really well played tonight. Lots of characters played by each of these DPS, and all of them doing very well on each one. So, a sign of a really skilled player right there. Well played to all, and well played to both teams. And I wish I could tell you that this was a 6th map or a Rapture win, but it is not. It is an ANU win, and we love it. Well played to both teams tonight. And yeah, Harry, what have you got?
I kind of want to award a player of the game, but I don't want it to be from the winning team because I think they all played pretty well individually, right? They all played well and they got the job done, but I can't think of a massive standout player from the side of the winning team. I guess if we were to go with anyone, possibly RT Marcus, I think had a lot of individual pop-off moments. But on the side of Rapture, really pointing out Raider, I mean, 4 player of the games is enough to speak about the plays that he was making. But I think that what we saw were 2 teams who were fairly evenly matched. Both teams were playing up to their standards of the individuals. And eventually it just came down to who had better fortitude in the end to finish out that map 5. And it turns out to be ANU. So congratulations to them.
I think I've got to give it, if we're talking about ANU, I've got to give it to Bobatron for the way, for their tank. I was a big fan of watching them, play as well as they did. And look, those rocks were stellar each time they were playing Sigma. So I think I've got to give it to them. On the side of Rapture, I'd like to say, look, I think Sledgy69 was the last minute swap in. But Sledgy did a really good job of just bumping up the DPS there. And look, I'm really impressed with the way both teams played. I think they both have a lot of potential, they've got a lot of skill. But as I said before, it is an ANU flipping things up and trying some unusual compositions that made the difference in the end. We've been here a little while, and that's the end of our games for tonight. So I reckon, Harry, let's roll into the credits and say thank you all for watching and get on.
Yeah, most definitely. We have been here for a little bit. So massive thank you firstly to our event producers at AOESports, being Gat MBs, who is producing tonight as well. So massive thank you to Gat for being the man behind the camera, the man you don't see, the man you don't hear. And thank you as well
on the production side of things. So big shout out to Gat.
Yeah, and thank you as well to Koalas Esports, Bees, and Sdogga. And Sdogga, thank you for casting with me. The event coordinators of Bees, Gat, Raiden, and the other AOE staff as well. That's a shout out to us as well, Sdogga. I think we deserve that shout out. Thank you as well. Thank you as well to our stream technical assistants in Gat, Shadow, Temporalic, who was unable to make it tonight, and Sdogga. Massive thank you to our patrons who provide and keep us going, keep the competition going for us, obviously being the largest OCE Overwatch community at the moment. And a massive thanks to everyone watching, Gat, Papadaka as well. Thank you to all the players who came and played. Without you guys, there would be no production, there would be no community. We thank you all so much. Yeah,
and that's pretty well all we have for you tonight. So all that is left is to say goodbye and see you guys next week. Remember, there is one more week of AOL coming up after this, so stay tuned. We'll see you back again next Saturday. Thank you all for watching and all for playing, and we will see you guys again soon. We hope you enjoyed. Good night all.